analyze whether they screwed you or not, although it may be too late to do anything about it. But I at least wanted to let you know what position you're in. So,
Okay.
let's do the math. As I understand it, with the original car, and I'd like listeners to weigh in on this, the original car, what was the price tag on the original car? Original truck?
Original truck was 23.
No, it couldn't be 23. You had a loan for 30.
Well, yeah, that's what I was. That was the other component to this, is they raised it to 28, and then it ended up being like almost 30. The loan was.
Well, then don't tell me what was the purchase price of the truck. It couldn't have been 20. It's impossible to be 20 if you have a $30,000 loan. What was the purchase price of the truck?
The purchase price of the truck was $30,000.
Okay, it was $30,000 of that truck. Okay, but you had a $30,000 loan. So how does that happen? Tell me how a $30,000 truck with a $10,000 down payment and a $1,700 payment in a trade, that's a positive of $11,700 off of the purchase price. How do you end up with a $30,000 loan?
That was precisely what I was trying to figure out myself.
But here's the problem, Howard. You signed every single paper with that original purchase. So going back to that original purchase, let me get this straight. That truck was $30,000, right? Now, what they normally do is they subtract the down payment. So the down payment was cash. Is that right?
Correct.
And that down payment was $10,000. By the way, if I sound excited, it's not against you. It's me. It's me wanting to get this dealer if they screwed you. Okay. So
I can appreciate that.
You put down payment of $10,000. Then you had a trade value of $1,700. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, so that tells me, and I have someone here with a financial mind, and he used to be in the car business years and years ago, Kurt Rogers, with Affordable Interest Mortgage. So, Kurt, it's a $30,000 truck. I know you didn't come here to talk this, but you're a smart man. A $30,000 truck. He puts $10,000 down. That should bring it to 20. Then he puts $1,700 down. So do the math. What are we looking at? Huh? 18.3. Thank you. So that should have brought the purchase price down to the net price, we call it, to 18.3. Now, you have a mortgage, or a loan, I mean, for 30. How does that happen? Where did they get the extra $12,000 in extras on that contract?
Yeah.
That's the original deal.
Howard,
Howard, the original deal. Does all this make sense to me? The original truck was 30. Are you sure that was the purchase price?
No, because originally, like I was saying, they had it listed on the internet on their website as 23,000. And when I got there, all of a sudden it became 28,000. And then from there, it just started like...
I get that, but are you positive it was 30 and not 40?
Yes.
Well, according to this, if you have a $30,000 loan, they hoodwinked you out of $12,000. What do you think, Kurt?
Actually, when you take the $30,000 price, you're going to add about $3,000 in taxes, $2,800 to $3,000. If he bought a service contract with that, or if he bought any other add-ons out of the
well, that's what I'm getting at. But if his purchase price was 30, and you minus 10 for a down payment, and you minus 17 for a trade, you get a net price of 18.3. That's where you add the taxes.
You add the taxes on the purchase price.
Okay, then add the taxes, but still, how do you get up to $30,000?
Well, then you're at 21, 22,000, and I'm not saying they're right. It's 21, 22,000. Then a dealer will maybe sell your service contract.
Did you buy any cockamamie stuff?
No, I bought the 4-year warranty.
Well, that's cockamamie. You bought that. How much did you pay for that?
I don't know. It was added into my payment.
Okay, listen, man. Here's the thing. I'm serious now. I'm really serious. You got so screwed, and now what's worse, the engine blew. He goes back. He comes out with another truck. And the other truck has a bigger loan on it. I'll bet you they made on. I can't even imagine how much they made on you. In order to go through this, we would have to see the paperwork because it's too. And I'm serious. And we could analyze that today if you get it to us. You can, and Suze will tell you how. I need to see the original deal. Do you have all the paperwork of the original deal?
Thankfully, I do.
Okay. Let's take it one deal at a time.
Okay.
Okay.
You had a 4-year warranty. Wouldn't that cover the engine that blew?
Well, maybe. I mean, did it cover the engine? He doesn't know. He traded it in. He never got it fixed.
You did that probably because that's what the dealer wanted to do.
Of course.
They didn't want to pay for the service contract that was on it.
Right.
Of course. All right, hang on. Suze, tell him how to get the paperwork to him.
He paid probably $3-4 grand for a warranty, maybe as much as $5 for a 4-year on a 4x.
Sounds more like he walked in.
Yeah, $3,000 in taxes. That's
$8,000 turned around.
And I would bet he paid a little bit more in other little quirks like credit life or disability or something.
His new truck. God, this is so fucked.
And New Windfall is a proud partner of the Denver Nuggets. Get started at spots.
Let's talk about core scans. I represent core scans because I had it done. True story. And I said, oh my goodness, I didn't know I had soft plaque. Quite a bit. I went on medication that reversed it, stopped it. A follow-up scan showed that, and it's getting better and better. But I didn't even know I had it. And neither do you. Because there are no symptoms. You see, it's not like you have problems and pains and aches and then all of a sudden you drop dead. No, this is a catastrophic thing, soft plaque. That's why I'm a complete believer, truly a complete believer in core scans and why you should have it done. I'm not kidding you. Corescans.com without the E. It's $189, and here's the best part of it. When you have it done, there are treatments covered by insurance from other doctors or your own doctor. Corescans.com, 720-740-2663. All right, let's talk about Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. He does free market valuations of your home for the asking. Frank Duran, the real estate man. It's more than an appraisal. It's different because appraisals don't indicate the selling price, neither does Zillow. But Frank Duran will walk there and say, this is what this house will sell for. Yeah, buyers need appraisals, but you don't. You just want to know what you're going to get. And he'll do this complimentary, whether you want a list or not. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622. Yes, and while we're talking about good things like Frank Duran, let's talk about Renew Home Innovations for your bathroom. They'll make your bathroom beautiful. It's that simple. With a new giant rectangular shower that looks great. That's renewhomeinnovations.com, 303-904-2000. Those showers are custom made, no thresholds, so they're easy access for those with disabilities or older people with walkers or wheelchairs. But for anyone, they're beautiful. A tub, shower combination, or just one of each, or just a beautiful big shower. A lot of people are doing that. 303-904-2000. Great financing and special pricing for seniors.
Guys, are you still looking for a
Morning, Mark.
What's going on, Kurt? How are you, man?
You know, just plugging along day by day.
Good.
As they say, one step at a time. Fall down, get up, do it again.
Again, text the word gift to 41234 to order naturally green pajamas.
Okay, so now what do I need? Oh, I need to write this.
I don't know if it's because I wrote to him or not, but I'm getting a lot of action on that email.
No surgery, no drugs, no steroids, no downtime. Regenerative treatment, the biologic therapy, can repair and restore damaged tissue in your joint with long-lasting results. So whether it's joint pain, or arthritis, or back pain, shoulder pain, don't suffer any longer. Change the way that you think about pain treatment and discover the biologic therapies at QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is now available to us right here in Colorado. So no more excuses. Get out of that pain with real, regenerative, biological treatment that helps your body heal and eliminate pain. Call them and tell them Michael Brown sent you. 303-900-89.
Man, are these
303-900-89.
watches, these garments making a big deal about watches? Holy shit. They're, for pilots and shit, and like they're like, they say they're smart and better than the iWatch, whatever they call it.
Too many of them. If the peanut butter really hits the fan, are you ready? Grocery store supply chains are only as strong as their weakest link. Don't wait for them to break. Now's the time to secure emergency food for everyone in your family. My Patriot Supply is America's largest preparedness company. Our specially packaged and delicious food stays fresh for up to 25 years in storage. It'll be there when you need it. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and pick up several emergency food kits. There are a dozen different sizes that average over 2,000 calories per day. Food kits will ship quickly.
I get cash back just for using honey.
Food storage in your home beats government food lines hands down. Go to mypatriotsupply.com today and prepare for what's coming. mypatriotsupply.com.
This report is sponsored by the Ben Ferguson Podcast.
Warming things up for your Thursday. Temperature today.
Order a bucket of food for $50 at patriotsupply.com. It's like, what do you think? It's like 600 pounds of macaroni and cheese. If you're lucky.
Spam.
And it shows up in a, what did it say, a undercover package. So your neighbors don't know you're fucking crazy. Hi,
Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Kurt Rogers with us, Affordable Interest Mortgage. We'll be talking about loans if you have any loan questions. Rates, are they inching up, down, staying the same? What are they doing?
They're stepping up. It's not inch, it's steps.
In little steps.
Medium to bigger.
It's like what was the half now, right? For like a third.
What was the last adjustment from what to what?
In the better part of 2 weeks, it's moved up over a point.
Oh, my goodness.
Went from 2.5, 2.75 to 3.5, 3.5.
Is that slowing things down?
It is, but it's slowing down the purchase for two reasons: the rates and the fact there's not enough homes. Slowing down the refinance, but it always slows down at this time of year because of Christmas. It's starting to pick up. We're starting to get more calls now.
Okay.
But yeah, a little bit.
303-713-TALK. Let's talk to Keith. Keith, you have a question about a 1099. What's going on?
Yeah, so the $600 or more for the 1099.
Yes, if someone pays you that much, they have to issue a 1099. But here's what's funny about it. If they don't, the fine is like $50.
So does that apply to GoFundMe?
No, hold on. Actually, I never even thought of that. If you give GoFundMe to an individual or a person and it's a gift, it is not taxable. It is not taxable.
Bam. There it is.
If it's a gift. And I would take the stand that all GoFundMe is a gift. And the person doesn't get to deduct the gift, and you don't get to claim it. Gifts are just... Now, I mean, I don't know of anything different, but if it's a gift, there's no tax on gifts. Go ahead, Suze.
I'm reading, it says, those donating to an individual GoFundMe campaign, it is not tax deductible like it would be for a 501c3. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I said that. You don't get to deduct it, and they don't have to claim it as income.
It says those services now have to file a 1099 anytime an individual user gets more than $600 in commercial payments.
But if it's $600 as a gift, there might be a special 1099. Let's call, you know what? I always do this. Let's talk to Eric Reinemer, Atlas CPAs, or one of his people, and we'll get the lowdown. But I'm pretty sure it's a gift. I mean, think about it. It's a gift. You don't have to pay it. They're not doing a service for you. It's a gift. Wouldn't you say, Mark? It sounds like a gift. I think it sounds like a gift.
Yeah, it does sound like a gift. I don't know how to argue that.
Yeah, I mean, and by the way, yeah, and I don't know if there's ever been any. It has to be a gift. I mean, how on what world is it not a gift? Because you are
is the entire platform nothing but donations? Oh, I don't know anything about.
Right now, if
I'm selling a product, for example, can I have a GoFundMe to source a product?
Hold on. There are GoFundMes for startup companies, I think. I
think it's like anything. You have to go to your accountant, tell them how you got the money, and then they tell you if you owe taxes.
If you do it as a startup, obviously, I don't see it as a gift. No. And if you do it as a gift, it's a gift. If you do it to a 501c3, it's deductible under the deductible rules based on your income. If it's a 501c3, if you do individuals on GoFundMe, no. It is absolutely to the individual. And if it's a gift, it's a gift. If it's an investment, it's an investment. I would say that GoFundMe in and of itself doesn't change the nature. It's whatever the end result is. That's what I think. I mean, it's logical, but we'll ask one of our tax experts. Susan wants to talk about maintenance on a Whirlpool washer?
Clothes washer, sorry.
Clothes washer. Go ahead. Hey, Susan, what's happening?
Hi, Tom.
Hey.
I have a Whirlpool Duet front-load washing machine.
Yes.
And Whirlpool tells me that there's no filter to maintain on it. But when I search online, and I have a dog, so there's a lot of dog hair going through it. When I search online, I see videos of people pulling off the back panel on this model, and that there is a filter in there that things can get caught up.
No, wait a minute. So they say there's nothing to do, and you've seen where there is a filter?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm, but it's not easily accessible. You have to pull off the back panel, and then there is a
but they never, in any of the literature you have or online support, they never mention, Whirlpool itself never mentions that it is something you have to do.
Right.
That's weird.
It's not in the maintenance area of my owner's manual. I emailed and called them, and I don't have confidence necessarily in the representatives I've
So if you want to get the lowdown from us, we can call Jensen Appliance on a referral list.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably not meant to be serviced, so even if it's there, I mean, why? If it was meant to be serviced, they're going to tell you, and they're not going to make it to where you got to pull it out, remove the entire back. I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but I've never heard of a filter that's not meant to be serviced. Why would it be there? To clog up and then finally not work?
Maybe it's just a big strainer, not really a filter.
Let's find out.
Yeah, I think it is more of a strainer.
Like for cats and dogs, basically, not for microns.
Yeah, to make sure the dog doesn't go through it.
You know, but that's the joke, is for cats and dogs, some filtration systems are just silly. But let's find out. Hold on. It might be for sediment and stuff, but still, that could have an accumulation if it doesn't backwash automatically. Maybe it does backwash. We don't know. It could. It could. In the drain cycle, it could be the same nozzle going to and from. Who knows? Hold on and we'll figure it out.
But then do you break the warranty by pulling it apart?
Yeah, so let's find out. Let's call Jensen Appliance. 303-713-TALK.
This is Denver. Tom Martino now. Dan Kaplis today at 4, 6:30 KHOW, Denver. Now, Impact Traffic. This report is sponsored by the Ben Ferguson Podcast.
Checking traffic on I-25, it's actually a good drive for you between Castle Rock and the Thornton Northland area. Either direction of I-25 up to full speed. I-225, same situation, no delay, about 11 minutes between I-70 and I-25. And I-70, check if there are any delay because of accidents. Traffic is pretty light right now. Little slowing as you work your way through that construction.
So look at this one I just worked up. This will blow you away, Tom. Oh, you got a spot.
45 for tomorrow with the
I just got an email. From who?
No showers.
Cardio, he said it was over 2 minutes coming back in. Please watch that. I don't know, I wasn't in here. It must have went long or something.
More expose into the millions of dollars coming from China to the Biden family. And is it time for a special prosecutor? The answer is yes, and I'll explain why. Download the Ben Ferguson Podcast now.
So why would you want a free valuation of your home, I've been asked by Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. Well, you might be thinking of fixing up or selling. You don't want to fix up beyond the neighborhood. You don't want to sell if you're not going to get enough and to move on. So Frank Duran will do a free market analysis and a valuation of your home. And it's based on his experience in actual sales, not like appraisals. And it's not like a Zillow or anything like that. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. It's free. It's complimentary. 303-920-1622. The art of granite is the art of doing things the right way when it comes to counters, and he does more than granite. He'll do any man-made material, any natural stone. He's a direct stone importer. Wholesale on all materials. Tear out and haul away's free. The bathroom vanity's free when you do the kitchen. Get your price on the phone, 303-386-5919. I've known Mitch for years. He does quality work at great prices. 303-386-5919.
Jackson Hewitt needs you to know 3 things about
4.2 million, 4.2 million impressions, 9 different stations, less than $10 a spot, over 14 weeks, 16K. Can't fucking beat that. It's ridiculous. 4.2 million impressions. Guaranteed.
Thousands in tax credits and get your biggest refund guaranteed. Learn more at jacksonhewitt.com.
You know, you guys keep hearing me talk about Blue Sky CBD, and I can only say that my experience using these products has just kept getting better and better. I also know hundreds and hundreds of you that have tried it and feel the same way because I see the feedback. I hear about it. I've met with the owners, and they share some interesting info on the latest batch of their Max Relief Balms and how they tested at 2,700 milligrams. That's basically a free extra 200 milligrams. And this stuff has been really good for my aches and pains. And believe me, I've talked about them. I've got plenty. Also, I wanted to let you know that if you use promo code KOA/KHELP as a one-time code, please also feel free to use promo
I just said Steve Moss,
20% off your next order. The more I learn about CBD, the more thankful I become for this relationship with Blue Sky CBD.
Steve Moss.
The highest quality products available at a lower cost per milligram.
Oh, come on, you know who that is.
You find at big box stores. And for the entire month of
They only did our opening song.
shipping on all orders. More information, go to bluesky-cbd.
I had someone ask,
I call Moss. Moss. Yeah.
And I had someone literally ask me this, hey, we want to do a jingle, something like the tree farm.
He did the tree farm.
I know he did the tree farm. I said, I'll do better than that. I'll send you the guy's name who did the tree farm. I wonder what he charges for shit like that. But it's Century RV. They want a branding.
So Eric and Jensen, right? Those two were waiting.
This amazing 3.25 rate and APR won't last long, and our new fast track loan process can get it done in record time. So call today, 844-425-3669. That's 844-425-3669. 844-425-3669.
Fuck, I just thought of something. I got a damn meeting. I'm not going to be able to play racquetball. I got to log in. Son of a bitch.
What's your meeting?
I don't want to say it right here. Nothing to do with work.
Oh.
Fuck.
Breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body. I am giving in the moment and taking iBreast.
You do it a couple times a month, I think.
125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal
Fucking
women
me, god damn it.
HR positive.
I am so bad with that shit, Tom. I put it on my calendar, I do everything, and I still double book. I still fucking do it.
But doesn't it warn you?
No, I forget.
Oh.
I put one on my calendar, then I set something else, and don't put it on the calendar.
No, I know. I've had that.
Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or
Let's see here.
before taking iBreast, tell your doctor.
Even though the CDC is not recommending masks anymore, Democratic governors to a T are going against that and demanding masks.
Most of them. There's still some morons.
But Democrats, they're all Democrats that
Yeah,
are
I
doing
know.
it, is what I meant.
That's because the Republicans already did it months ago.
I mean, I don't fucking understand. What does follow the science mean? If it doesn't go with your narrative, you're not going to follow it anymore? What does this need to fucking control people?
They changed the science.
I would like to know what the need is to control people. What is it?
What is it? Is it truly a power trip? Are they that fucking petty?
Yes. I believe they're working towards government control, government dependency, so that government can control. I firmly believe that.
Denver's talk station.
And guess who loves it more than ever? The fucking people the hippies who used to protest that shit.
Well, of course.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Okay, you know that expression, follow the science. I'm going to give you another more accurate expression. Follow the politics. That's the honest-to-God truth. And I mean that for both sides, or all sides, not just one. It's not follow the science. No one will pay attention to science unless it's in line with their politics. The CDC says we don't need masks anymore indoors. But several governors of a certain ilk are saying we're going to still keep them. Why is that? They're not following the science. They're following the politics. That's our problem. And that's an observation. And it happens all over. And until we become non-political in our choices and beliefs, we will be idiots and stooges. Those who follow politics and dogmatically agree with their party on everything, you're idiots. Because there is no such thing as perfection. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Let's talk about a property management issue. Go ahead, Lawrence. What's going on?
Good morning.
Hey, what's happening with you?
Yesterday, I'm trying to help my son. He has some mental disabilities. And
what kind? What kind of mental disabilities? I want to. Is he competent?
No. He pretty much, yes. He is. He's got bipolar.
Okay, well that's pretty significant.
Borderline personality disorder.
Okay, does he do meds?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and it's controlled with his meds.
Okay, so what's going on?
Well, he and his girlfriend, who is also disabled, but she's because she has seizures, are both on disability, and they were looking to share a place to live out in Sterling, where they could afford to live. Cost for the place was going to be about $750 a month, and so that works about $375 per person, and well within what they could afford through their disability. And then they also have like food stamps and other things to help them, and a little bit of help from family and friends. But they went to a property management place and filled out all the paperwork, and everything was.
Are they living together now?
Well, yes, they're actually in a hotel. They've only got a few more days left before they run out of money.
Okay, got it.
And then they'll be in a car.
Living together in a hotel, and they're trying to get an apartment.
Yes.
Okay.
And
so what's going on?
The problem is that, well, they were about to, keep, they'd already filled out the paperwork, and they were at this property management place. And then the boss storms in and says something to the effect of disability money is not real money.
Okay.
And then started arguing with him, and then threw him out of her office. When they argued back with her, she threatened to call the police on them, trying to just chase them out. And I think she was trying to take advantage of the fact that they're both fairly young kids. Chris is only he's 28, but
Okay, so listen, man, Lawrence,
he's younger.
If they have proof that they would qualify otherwise, and the disability is the only reason they're not being allowed, this guy's in trouble. But would they qualify otherwise? Because they're not going to count family money. They're only going to count income.
No. Like I said, they're disability checks.
No, what I'm asking is
they
this.
Get those.
Okay, what are the qualifications to rent there? Do you have to have triple the amount of gross income?
It's not. It was not said that that was a requirement.
Okay, you have to find out what the requirement is before we fight this. if they have the same requirements for everyone, for example, if they require on a $700 a month place, if they require...
Well, they wanted first and last. Sorry, did I interrupt? That they wanted first and last, and they had that. You know, they would have the money to be able to do the deposits and the clean, you know, the
and what else?
And last month
and
rent.
what else?
That's it.
Okay, so here's the deal. If they want other qualifications and they can prove they impose those on everyone there, that's what they have to have, not one thing more. If they mention you can't be here because the income we require you have in disability checks, they're going to be in trouble. And you need to go Americans with Disabilities Act or Civil Liberties Union or somebody who fights these things. I'm serious. Or you need to go, it's not equal opportunity, but equal housing. I mean, seriously, if that is the only reason, if they have bad credit, they're out of there. If they have not enough income, they're out of there. But they can't be out of there just because the income is disability. But I can't tell that. You got to do that. I mean, I can't tell. I mean, you got to find out the absolute requirements. Call the landlord and say, I'm looking to rent. What are the requirements?
Okay.
Find out for me. And then if the only reason they were kicked out is because they have disability, that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. And they can't discriminate saying, well, you have a mental disability, so for sure we don't want you. That would be terrible.
Yeah, he successfully has rented a place in Sterling before on his own. But now they're dividing income between the two of them, and so it'll be even less expensive.
I know. But still, that doesn't matter. Their income has to qualify. Everything has to qualify. Just let me know. Give me some weapons. Give me some weapons. 303-713-TALK. Francis, what is your Social Security issue? Hello, Francis.
Yes, good morning.
Hi, what's going on?
My husband passed away in December, and so I've most recently been in contact with Social Security to determine what.
Now, were you on Social Security?
Yes.
Okay, were you receiving your own at the time before he died?
Yes.
How much were you?
It's only covering my Medicare.
Well,
and I
wait. So you don't get a check? Hold on. Before your husband died, that's all I'm asking. Did you get a check, and for how much? I'm not asking about anything else but the check.
No.
No. So you never got Social Security of any kind. Did you work?
Oh, yes. Yes, I always worked.
So why didn't you get Social? How old are you?
I'm 73 now.
Why don't you have? I'm just trying to discern first, because this is how it's determined. That's why I'm asking you. Why did you not have your own Social Security?
Because they told me close to 9 years back when I retired.
Right. What did they tell you?
School district. They told me I retired with para.
Of course,
and I
that's
was
right.
Forfeiting.
Yes, right. Yeah, that's exactly.
I was forfeiting almost entirely all of my Medicare, but they would, or my Social Security.
Right. You don't have Social Security. It's enough said. You were a teacher. You don't get Social Security. If that's all you worked, you don't get so. So do you get para?
I got a one-time lump sum payment from para.
That's what you chose.
Yes, I had two
choices. Got it. Okay, so now let's talk about the other thing. Your husband's Social Security. Are you entitled to spousal benefits? Yes, you are.
They're telling me no.
Why? Because you're on para?
Because I fall into a category that's called a windfall provision.
Oh, that's right. Okay, because the para you got put you over the top. Is that what they're saying?
I believe that's what they're saying.
What was your one-time payment?
One-time lump sum payment was $180,000 9 years ago.
Okay, but what they're saying is that according to their calculations, and I'm not agreeing, but they're saying according to their calculations, you don't get it. And that would be the same. I understand that. Just the same with if you were getting a lot of money because you worked hard and long, and you were getting a lot of money on Social Security, you would not get spousal benefits because of the windfall. You're making enough already. That's what they're saying. They're saying, Francis, you make enough on your own that you should not be able to get spousal benefits. But we're going to double check. Suze, since we don't have an actual Social Security expert, we do have Integra. And John Jones Sr. and Day, they know a lot about Social Security. I'd like to ask them about this.
It's either half or... She either gets half. If she had no Social Security, she would get half.
That's right.
And then if she is getting her own Social Security, if it's less than that half...
They supplement it.
They supplement it to get her to the half.
Exactly.
And the same would go with para. The only thing I don't know is when you take a lump sum, how do they calculate that going forward?
That's the part that confuses the heck out of me. So hang on there. 303-713-8...
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by the Ben Ferguson Podcast.
Checking traffic on I-25, it's actually a good drive for you between Castle Rock and the Thornton Northland area. Either direction of I-25 up to full speed. I-225, same section, no delay, about 11 minutes between I-70 and I-25. And I-70 checking clear of any delay because of accidents. Traffic is pretty light right now. Little slowing as you work your way through that construction zone east of I-25. Fox 31 pinpoint weather. A high of 55 today, tonight's low 26. 45 for tomorrow with a 50% chance for scattered snow showers tomorrow night. Currently it's 48. With your Impact Traffic and Weather, I'm Chris McLaughlin, 630 KHOW.
Coming up on the Ben Ferguson Podcast. Hey, into the millions of dollars coming from China to the Biden family. And is it time for a...
Man, they are pushing this podcast.
Yes, and I'll explain why. Download the Ben Ferguson Podcast.
Every single break.
I want to talk about John Fuller. He's a small law firm on purpose. That doesn't mean ineffective. It means less expenses, better money, and better return, and better attention for you. John Fuller also does something else no one can do, and that is free legal advice when you need it the most. Give him a call. You talk directly to him. Yeah, not an underling. You talk to him, and he gives you free legal advice on your injury with no obligation to hire him. John Fuller, Fuller Law. PersonalInjuryCO.com. Get the attention you deserve. Don't get lost in the shuffle. 303-597-4500. 597-4500. Sheridan Auto Tech, everything you want in an auto repair facility, maintenance, repairs, electrical issues. And by the way, they have an electrical department. 2 locations, so it's convenient. One on Colfax and Lakewood, Havana, and Aurora. Also, longevity, honesty, experience, knowledge, convenience, and value. The repair shop I know and trust, and I refer people to Uncle Kevin. I call him that affectionately because he treats everyone like family. SheridanAutoTech.com, 303-455-7242, 455-7242.
How long will this bull market last? What will the next recession look like?
Are you financially prepared? Visit my website,
Madison Square Garden.
Loaded. All the way to the roof.
Yeah, guess what they're chanting?
Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon.
What was it
Every
for?
one of them.
What was it for?
Just a concert there. Huge concert. Sold out.
A registered investment advisor. Cambridge and Centennial Capital Partners.
I don't know, man. Talib, your boy's not doing well.
Who? Biden. Why do you keep trying to give me this dude?
Because you voted for him.
I'm just kidding.
Why do you keep?
I'm just kidding.
Why do you keep lying on me?
You know you voted for him. You told me you did. So you either lied then or you're lying
but
now.
It wasn't a vote. I voted as an independent. I threw my
John
vote
Jones
away.
got me set up.
What's that?
John Jones got me set up. My girlfriend pays $0 a month. She pays nothing, and I paid like $75. So.
Bro, that's good.
She gets her medicine for like
Isn't unique.
$23.
99 out of 100 Orchard customers sell on market for more than their cash offer. Getting started is easy. You go online and enter your address at orchard.com. Takes just a couple minutes and lets you skip.
Remarks on healthcare costs. And he's going to cure cancer.
What Orchard would pay for your home.
I love the man. Built back better. We are built back better.
I had almost a hard time listening to him as I did with Trump. His affect is so bland. One of them was here, the other one was right. It's just too much. What boggles my mind is that of a country of 330 million people, these are the two people that
got to be president. What two people?
Biden and Trump.
Okay, whatever, Doc. What can I say? The country was on the best projectile it's been on forever under Trump.
Yeah.
I don't give a
what
fuck.
he's saying
Like
is what he's talking about out of the universe. We're just projecting ourselves out into space.
Well, the country was doing
it was better than it's ever been. Jobs, fucking everything. Who else could have got that fucking vaccine out in fucking 8 months?
You got to admit that. I mean, whether you like the man or not, which I don't like him. The country was doing better.
Or visit repipe.com.
Do you check your Google search results regularly? You should. People often get their first impression of you or your business online.
He'll be back.
Comments on the internet can impact your life and your livelihood.
Oh my God.
Adele attacked for speech on being a
Do you know why?
Because
her song says, "I love being a woman," and that's hate speech.
Hate speech.
You're kidding? No. She's being attacked.
She should be attacked for fucking killing that concert and fucking multiple people out of their money.
I don't know if she had. I don't know if she had.
I love being a
Look
woman.
at this. Do you realize they're not even carrying his speech on Fox?
Biden on health care costs. I can't wait to hear that. Last time a president stood up and said I was going to get better health care, it was Obama.
He just said,
I
I helped get affordable health care. Affordable Care Act is helping Americans more than ever.
Yeah, sure is. So what is it? It is.
We want to go further.
Look, it's 21022. I have already dropped with one surgery and other shit $12,000 on health care this year. And we're in 10 days into the second fucking month.
What about?
I'll have 40 grand. I'll max out at 40 grand this year for a fucking nose surgery.
Trans people are upset that she loves being a woman. Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Let's keep going here. 303-713-TALK. We're trying to get 3 experts on. Jensen Appliance to talk about that maintenance issue.
He'll be available soon.
With Whirlpool. He'll be on soon. Then we're trying to get Integra for Social Security. And the third one, help me here. Eric Reinemer on deductibility. And or that lack thereof, or income tax on, the GoFundMe crap. Russ, what's happening with you, Russ?
Hi, Tom.
Hey.
My daughter's thinking of getting her whole house repiped because apparently the piping in there is not very good, and we called repipe specialists. They came out and gave us a bid, but
they do what they say, and no complaints. They do it. But other plumbers do it as well. They just don't advertise it. But Repipe specializes. So what did you find with them? And by the way, I have no affiliation with them. I'm just curious what you found.
Well, they're going to use a piping called PEX. Or
PEX.
PEX has a big lawsuit going on.
Wait.
Really?
Wait, did they say PEX?
Yes.
Well, Mark, I've heard PEX is wonderful stuff. What's the lawsuit for?
Well, there's been a class action settlement
for what?
Already announced. Hold on here.
I think it was for the attachments.
I'm reading through it. I'm not sure.
I think it was the attachments. I don't think it was the pipe itself. But anyway, why don't you read that and let me know? So, Russ, what about it then?
Well, I just wanted to see if there was any complaints because everybody has bad reviews, every company. But I just thought I'd call you.
What was the price and what size is the house? I always wanted to know what that would cost.
$7,000, which we thought it was going to be 10 or 12.
No, 7 is for what size house?
Probably 1,500 square feet, maybe.
That's not bad, man. That is not bad.
Yeah. So it's the attachments, not the.
Oh, they kill on price.
Let's find out. What do you mean, Mark? Oh, compared to
to anything.
All right. I don't see anything negative here about PECs. There might be a lawsuit, but I have no idea.
This says commercial structures in the United States that contain or contained NIBCOs, PECs, tubing, fittings, clamp.
Yeah, it's the tubing and it's the fitting. Just ask them if they have the upgraded new fittings, Russ. That it's not the pipe. This pipe is, I mean, bulletproof, not literally, but it's even good with freezes, and it's a great pipe. It is. Now, I'm not saying you should have it directly exposed.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, I have no problem, and that price sounds pretty good to me, man. Now, Russ, that includes a walkout turnkey finish, right? You don't have to do any drywall repair or anything else.
Well, there's an added charge, but my son-in-law, he can do the
Well,
the
hold
drywall
on.
part.
No, that's a big deal. How much extra would it cost if you hired somebody to fix what they screw? Because it's easy to go in and knock down drywall and repipe. I thought they did something magical.
No, it's knocked down drywall, but
well, then
finish
that's
anyway.
like taking your house down to the studs, for God's sakes.
Yeah, and they're saying it's minimal tear out because.
Well, then maybe they just tear out at the beginning and end and fish it through. Did they give you an idea of what damage there would be?
Not until they really get into it, because they don't know what they're going to have to tear down. They're going to be able to fish it through a lot of areas, but there's one in the kitchen that they'll have to, because there's a bathroom just above it. They might have to cut out some of that part, that drywall, but it's not as bad as he thought. He said. So I'm not. I'm just going by what he said.
Okay. Well, even re-drywalling might be.
I like that whole turnkey. You're paying one company to knock it out.
Yeah, but they're not doing that. They say, would they do it for an extra cost?
They will, but they couldn't give us a price until they know.
Well, what? Until after they start?
Yes.
Well, that's a weakness there. Okay. That's. Oh, okay. Well, I don't like that unless they quote it up front. Let's talk about reverse.
Yeah, they're just saying they don't know until they
get there. Right. And
no, not until they get there, until they start.
And the ad say if you want us to do the drywall, there'll be additional costs.
I would rather do a turnkey. Then you got one company to bitch at for anything.
And here's the other thing. With that PEX, do they take out the old pipe or just go alongside it?
I would go alongside it. Why would you take it out?
Because it's valuable.
I don't think it's that valuable.
Yeah, it is.
Compared to the labor to remove it?
Yeah, it's valuable. People do it all the time.
Okay, Jensen will be on in a minute.
Yeah, but no. Listen, though. I agree. People do it all the time. But
they don't have to do more damage with it.
A fucking shitload of more drywall damage. And the people doing that don't give a fuck.
Pardon me, and Integra said he was actually listening to the call, but he said he's trying to get answers.
Shit.
I did have a gentleman call. He said that you spoke wrong, that he has parent retirement. He contributed for 24 years. Because of the windfall, he gets partial from Social Security and para, but if you contribute for 30 years or more, you get full on both sides. That's
you contribute 30 years to what?
To your retirement and Social Security.
She didn't retire. She didn't contribute a dime.
Yeah, that I don't know.
Yeah, she never contributed.
He just said he does get it on both sides.
Because he contributed for 20 years. She never contributed.
Right, he put in his 40 quarters.
He misunderstood us. Okay. But I'd like him to come.
Yeah, he hung up. He couldn't hold. So, anyway.
He had your number, though. You were wrong.
Biden will hold drug companies accountable for prices. There goes our new drugs. When are we going to learn that economically, if something doesn't pay, they don't do it? Although I will say $6,000 for a pill.
Now listen, I know the inflation numbers today really sucked, but I'm going to go after the drug companies.
There's all kinds of diversion, like gun violence. He didn't go after it. He didn't say there was a riot.
Because the lady that just got pushed into the subway, that was a gun.
No,
and the old man that got stabbed to death, that was a gun.
I say there's hoodie violence. That's what I say.
because it's all done with hoodies.
35.
I think if you outlaw hoodies, you do away with.
No, I think the crime is committed.
No,
with
if
hoodie.
people don't have sneakers, they wouldn't be able to run from police.
No, but you sue the hoodie company.
No, you
Somebody
sue the
commit-
sneaker company.
And the hoodie
But
company.
listen to what he's
If somebody commits a crime in a hoodie, you sue the hoodie company.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It's the same as suing the gun companies.
Two adults who've mistaken the liquid for eye drops. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Medicare needs to be able to negotiate drug costs.
They should be able to. I don't think Medicare can. There's something why drugs in Canada are so much cheaper than
Because the manufacturer sells them.
No, because the Americans pay the price.
Yeah.
Right, but
And we supplement the world.
But we should be able, Medicare should be able to just get from Canadian manufacturers if they're doing it for cheaper.
40% up on.
Now, what makes you think? Hold on a second. Think about what you just said, Doc. What makes you think if they could do that, drug prices in Canada and everywhere else, why does that drive the price down here? I would argue that just drives the price up over there. It's not going to do any difference.
So when was your last IP?
Why?
Maybe I should.
Because it's going to change your entire business model. They'd have to offset it everywhere.
You still do? If
Yeah,
not,
absolutely.
he doesn't want me paying for one.
You're not going to. No, you shouldn't have to. Just as long as you don't get the NAD.
Heroin shot. No.
As long as you don't get the NAD, we'll never.
No,
go.
not that.
Just
Just
tell them it's going to
a
be two of
vitamin
us. Tell them it's going to be
hydration.
the two of us.
Do you want it on the 1st or
No, whenever you want.
when
As
was the
soon-
last time
I
you
don't
got
want
it?
to wait till the 1st of March.
Oh,
It
okay.
doesn't matter. I never reach my limit. Those fuckers better never complain.
Okay.
Doc, what I'm saying is that they would simply just raise the price.
Why?
Raise the price of what, Mark? Oh,
Because they could. It's their fucking price. If they're making $1 billion right now, and you're going to make it to where they only make $700 million, they're going to raise the fucking price. And if I'm a stockholder, they better fucking raise the price.
oh my God! Look at this. Well, they're still on the insurrection investigation.
I think
You know,
it's such bullshit. On
they've
drugs.
never investigated ever the other riots. Why is that? All the fucking riots that did way more damage. Why didn't they investigate?
It's the narrative.
Because they didn't do damage to the Capitol.
They did to federal courthouses
and police stations.
They didn't do damage to the Capitol. Million black men went to D.C. and not one window got broke. The Million Man March.
Yeah, that was
A million black men.
It was more than
were,
a million.
yeah, were in the capital city. Basically, no arrests, no robberies.
Well, so what?
That was a different time.
We're just talking about how many white guys go to the Capitol and tear it up.
Well, what I'm talking about is those other riots weren't black people. They were
No.
mostly white people.
Which ones?
The Black Lives Matter protests were mostly white people.
Wow.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And they fucking, and no one mentioned that.
And
In fact, there were a lot of black people saying, I don't want them doing
Exactly. And the guy that's got control of all of that Black Lives Matter funding is a white guy.
I know.
Yeah.
I know that. And 2 white women, but
And all this misdirection and
but I'm not talking about black people. I'm talking about the movement.
I'm just talking about.
It's too bad it's called Black Lives Matter.
Yeah,
They're belittling that.
Yeah.
Or making people against it.
Yeah.
That's right.
I get it.
It's genius.
That entire side, that's all they do to minorities, man. It doesn't matter.
They fucking grab
They
minority
think people are
causes,
dumb.
make them their own, and then everyone fucking hates them. But the real cause is still there.
We call it, when it's in music, we call it cultural appropriation. Okay.
They make us
When
hate
it's in art, we call it cultural appropriation.
I fucking hate it.
Hey, Connie, Integra thought Retirement Center of Colorado and the Rockies might have the answer to the Periscope.
good.
So I'm gonna. I don't have their cells, but I'll email them both.
Oh, wait.
See if we can get it. If you have cells, share them with me, and I'll.
Or Hiram has them too. Hiram, get them. Oh, I want to get them on. They're good people. Hold on, let me find out.
630 KHOW is now available on multiple platforms and thousands of devices.
Nah, shit, I don't have it.
KHOW.com. Denver's talk station. You're back in about 10. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Family. That's family. Enter it now at KHOW.com.
Did you see the Olympic numbers? Holy shit, man. They're like 40% plus down. No one's watching them.
Oh, no. They hate it.
It is kind of weird. We're giving them the opportunity to show off their country, and they have slaves and just all kinds of shit.
They don't care.
No, but we should care. That's the difference.
Well, we do care. That's why no one's watching.
We shouldn't even be there.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Let's talk about shooting your trouble, making things a little better. This hour brought to you by by Water Pros, the best systems at the lowest prices. I got somebody wrote to me saying that they were quoted $10,000 on a water system. Now, they had screwed up water more than normal, but Paul was able to do the whole house system for $4,000, saving him $6,000 and a better system. Now, his normal whole house systems are under $2,000, and his drinking water under $1,000. Waterpros.net. Love the man, love the company, love the products. 303-862-5554, and you have my name on that. I'm serious. Waterpros.net. Now, okay, Ryan Jensen from Jensen Appliance. These guys have the straight poop when it comes to appliances. We love using them as our experts. Let's go to Susan. Hey, Ryan, Susan has a Whirlpool washer, a clothes washer, okay? Washing machine. And she said nowhere in the maintenance does it mention having to clean a filter, change a filter, or do any such thing. But then, Susan, you found out. How did you find out there was something in line in the back? Susan, hold on. Let me see who's. Wait, no. Let's see who's making the noise. Hold on. That was Ryan. Go ahead, Susan. Go ahead.
So I Googled my unit and just maintenance on filter, and I found videos of people with my unit taking the back off, and there was some kind of filter.
Was it a filter or was it a screen?
It was probably a screen because the holes were very big.
And you don't know if you should be servicing it. How old is your Whirlpool?
Right. It's probably 4 years old.
Okay, I'm going to do one line at a time. I think Ryan was in a washing machine. Ryan, are you there?
Yes, I got you.
Okay, now, here's my question to you. Does the Whirlpool washing machine have a serviceable screen or filter media of any kind in the back? She said there's nothing in the owner's manual, but she Googled it, and they said you should remove the back and service that screen.
Yeah, there is one in front of the drain pump to keep things out of the drain.
Okay.
It's serviced from the front, and if the machine has an access panel under the door, it's rather easy. If it's one of the newer ones with no access panel, it's quite difficult to get to it. It involves a much more involved teardown to access it.
Okay, so how old is your machine, Susan?
Yeah, it's the newer one. It doesn't have any front access.
Wait, no, that would be the older one. Didn't you say the newer one has the front access?
No, she's right. The newer one does not have access.
Oh, so the newer one, are you noticing it's slow to drain, Susan?
No, I'm not. I'm just trying to be a good owner and just maintain it properly.
Ryan, what would you recommend?
I have all that dog hair going through.
Because it's so hard to access, unless it was slow to drain, I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay.
That's great. Right. And that's an honest repair guy at Jensen Appliance, not like these other clowns we encounter. That's an honest company, good people, Jensen Appliance, on our referral list at referralist.com. Now, we're getting an answer, I hope, from Retirement Center of the Rockies, and that's for Francis on Social Security. Meanwhile, Russ, I think we answered your question on repipe. I don't know if you have another question. Do you, Russ? I think he's off. Okay, we did answer his question, so he's done. 303-713-TALK. We have Kurt Rogers with us from Affordable Interest Mortgage, and we've been talking about rates that went up over the last 2 weeks, a point that's significant. I want to ask you, Kurt, liquid loan, I'll explain what it is, but first I'm going to ask you, does that have benefits with higher rates?
Actually, the liquid loan rates really don't matter because understanding when you're putting money into the account, you're being reimbursed that same dollar amount on every dollar you put in.
So it cancels it out.
4%, it washes it out. Your effective interest, and the thing, what effective interest is the amount of interest you pay to own your home. That will be lower. So when you factor that in, your actual rate's about 2 to 2.5%.
But if you don't have money in savings or in a checking account, then there's nothing to offset the interest.
Actually, let's say you deposit $6,000 a month into the account. The minute that hits, you start getting paid the same amount.
For every day it's in there.
For every day it's in.
So you get simple interest on your money that counts against the interest on your loan,
right?
Which is also
Even
simple
if you
interest.
spend it, it's making you money, saving you money.
All right. So in other words, if you put your paycheck in this account, for the length of time it's in there, even if it's only 10 days while you're waiting to pay a bill, or 30 days or 20 days, for that time, you're getting that exact amount of interest on that money to offset amount of money on your loan.
Correct, which lowers your interest rate, lowers
right.
your payment.
So picture this, people. Let's say you have $100,000 in the bank. $100,000 in a loan. Okay? That's your loan. You're paying simple interest on that loan. Now, in addition to that 100, let's say you have more equity, so now you have a line of credit of an extra 50. So 150,000 is secured against your house. 100 paid off your first, so it stays there. The other 50 is available in emergencies or whenever you need it. That's a line of credit. If you take 10 grand and put it in the bank, you are effectively paying interest on $90,000, not on the 100. So, and you for as long as it's in there, you get credit for it. So if you had a big bank account somewhere, like 100 grand, and it wasn't making a lot of money, you could literally offset the entire loan. And that's a good return on your money.
It's surprising, without changing your current spending habits, we are showing people how they can pay off their home in 13 to 14 years because we're not asking for extra money. We just take all that money that you're putting in places that's not paying you and putting it to work. And the liquid loan does that because of the effect that it has on that money sitting there. You'll pay less interest, which means you own the home faster without changing anything about your current. So you don't have to put more money. If you put more money in, it magnifies it.
Yeah. Now, remember, that money you put in the bank for bills is not taken by that company. It's not frozen by that company. It's your money. But it offsets your mortgage balance for interest purposes.
And lowers your payment.
And lowers your payment. And it's basically a 30-year line of credit with payments that you choose. You know, you got to make the minimum, right?
Yes, there is a minimum you have to make, but you don't have to make it. They just take it.
Yeah.
Out of the equity that you have.
Exactly. Yep. So that loan sits there, and then every penny you put in your bank, the same bank, counts against that balance. It's really a great idea. And if you need money in an emergency, like you need to repipe or you need to do something, you draw it out.
One of the things that we've learned through 2008, and I had neighbors that had this, because they had the equity in their home, when my neighbor lost her job for 18 months, she had no money going into the account. Nothing. But she was able to make her mortgage payment out of the equity that she had, which allowed her to keep her credit score, which allowed her to pay all of her bills, keep her kid going to school the way he's supposed to, and she survived for 18 months with no job.
Wow. That's the liquid loan with affordable interest mortgage. He's here today if you have any questions on that or any lending. I'm Tom Martino. Listen, Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies, I told you, man, these people are the people to go to when you have questions. See, they can quarterback and oversee your entire retirement plan. And I'm not kidding when I say I'm going to go to them. I know they're wondering when I'm going to go to them, but I really am. I mean, I want them to take charge of my retirement. So hold on a sec, and we'll come right back to them on the Social Security question and spousal benefits.
Do you have a question, Mark?
No.
Oh, okay.
Mark understands that freaking.
I know he does.
Yeah.
I know he does.
We'll help make sure you don't.
Just numbers.
There are thousands of dollars worth of new tax credits. Your Jacksonville tax pro will help you track down every month.
Deputy Doc will have a good part because he keeps money in the, he'll pay such low interest.
And you'll have access to your money.
Right. And extra money.
Learn more at jacksonville.com.
If you're disciplined, this thing is outstanding.
David Ellis Jewelers is going to buy your old gold and silver and platinum and coin collections and mismatched earrings and bracelets and watches that don't work. He doesn't care about what they look like, if they're tarnished. He doesn't care about any of that because he's looking for the gold and silver and platinum, and he will buy with honest prices. Third and Clayton in Cherry Creek. I've known David, gosh, for like 30-some-odd years. He's been in Denver nearly 40 years. A trusted name, David Ellis Jewelers.com. Yeah, go there and get a check. It's that easy. Third and Clayton, you can drop by or you can look online, davidellisjewelry.com, or give them a call if you have a curiosity. That's 303-322-8779, 303-322-8779, davidellisjewelry.com. Colorado Pain Care Sport and Spine. The message here is you go to them for pain and you get help. ColoradoPainCare.com. I'm going to give you a very simple number to remember, and you make an appointment. And by the way, if you mention Martino, or Tom, you get a free stainless water bottle on your first visit. They have 2 convenient locations that are wonderful. Everything in the same roof. They have wonderful, like physical therapy. They have trigger point injections and other treatments right there. South Colorado Boulevard in Denver, or their newest location in Lakewood near Alameda and Union. Both giving you pain treatment and physical therapy under one roof. They accept all insurance. That's 303-GOT-PAIN. 303-GOT-PAIN.
You know, right now, truck drivers in Canada, they're not moving until he resigns.
Fuck no.
That's what they just said. We ain't gonna move, Trudeau.
So who resigned?
I can't stand him.
So
You
who
even just
resigned?
look at him.
So who resigned?
Their prime minister.
Oh my goodness.
You know,
That'll affect everybody.
they fucked with us. They fucked with the wrong crowd. Until I need something, keep it up.
But car parts are the biggest. Huh? We buy a lot of fucking car parts from Canada.
Do we really?
Fuck yeah.
We do?
Fuck yeah.
They're
our number one.
They're made there?
Yeah. They're our number one trader, by the way, country-wise.
More than Mexico?
They are our number one trader. I hate that Trudeau or whatever his name is.
PXO.
It's replacement window season. If your windows are nasty, difficult to operate, or costing you money on your energy bill, it's time to replace them. Champion Windows is here to help. Right now, Champion is offering buy 2 windows, get 2 free. Champion built their own windows right here in the USA. So there's no middleman markups and no bigger savings on better windows. We make the process easy.
Show you how greedy the government gets in lending. Starting April 1st, if you're buying a second home, they're charging you 1 to 3 points more.
What's that? What?
Starting April 1st, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are charging you 1% to 3% more just because it's a second home.
Don't wait. This sale won't last long. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free.
So in addition to the rates going up, now it's going to even cost you more if you want a second home.
Interest financing option. Visit ChampionSaveNow.com to schedule a free in-home estimate today.
Yeah, the speed of greed is as crazy as anything.
People remember radio ads that remind them of the past. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company customizes your home insurance and you only pay for what you need, here's an ad that'll really take you back. Back in my day, I heard a voice from the radio say, Liberty Mutual customizes my home insurance. There are some things an old fellow like me just never forgets. Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com.
Watching tax code calculate the refund feels like
That's why cash is king.
running for the apex of a roller coaster. And flying down the track. And maximum refund fee. File for free with TaxSlayer Simply Free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's new hot and crispy fries.
Warming things up for your Thursday.
They need to come out.
60 degrees.
You know what we do? We do a small credit union and do interest-only loans to homeowners. That's what you do. Keep that payment low each month.
So what?
Interest-only loans.
Yeah, because in essence, a fully amortized loan is nothing more than that.
That's all it is.
And most people don't stay in their house that long. And you're right.
Interest only, baby.
That could make a good
$700 a month, you got your own house.
Hi, Tom Martino, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. All right. Frances never contributed to Social Security. She was a teacher and only had para. In some cases, if you do contribute to Social Security, the story may be different. But I want to confirm, Frances, you never contributed to Social Security. Is that right?
Oh, no, that's not true.
How many years?
I had the 40 hours, the 40 quarters that was necessary to even qualify. So I paid into Social Security well before I ever went on with the school district.
I didn't know that.
And these years since, approximately 8 years since.
Oh.
Just working part-time.
And they tell you, okay, I get what they're saying. So what? And then you took a lump sum from para.
I did.
Okay, but you did contribute. I was under the impression you did not contribute to Social Security. So that changes things.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I worked paid in from the time I was 16 till about 40 years old. So there was plenty of time I paid in there. And after retirement, at least another 8 years.
Okay.
So
now,
I've got those.
I want to talk to Josh. Josh with Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies. Thanks, Josh, for being on. Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies, they do everything. They basically oversee everything in a retirement plan. So they can deal with the Social Security, they can deal with the Medicare, they can deal with long-term care, they can deal with annuities, they can deal with your pension, they can deal with investments, and they don't even have to be the ones doing each and every job. They just coordinate it. But they can do as much as you want. I mean, it's really you being smart. In other words, if I was a genius and knew all of this, I would do it, but I'm not. So I let Retirement Planning. And by the way, guys, Josh, I wasn't kidding when I said I'm getting together with you. I know you're wondering when, but we got to do it because I have, no, seriously, I'm 68, right? I have so many things coming due, and I need to figure out what I do, right, in the forward. So what I wanted to say is this is a trusted source. These are not just some guys we pull out of the internet. Okay, on Social Security, what they're telling her is she got a lump sum of $180,000 years ago, but she contributed 40 quarters or more to Social Security. But she also worked as a public school teacher and got para. That's why she got that $180,000. Her husband died. And they're saying you're not entitled to spousal benefits due to a windfall. What the hell are they talking about?
Yeah, so what they're talking about is called the Windfall Elimination provision. And so that applies to folks that paid into para, whether you're receiving the pension or you took the lump sum. All that time you were not paying into Social Security. So that's what they're referring to. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not eligible for any spousal benefits. They would be reduced by that windfall elimination provision, and there's a chance that it may be completely eliminated, but that depends on a number of different factors that we could discuss in more detail.
But wouldn't the Social Security Administration do that calculation for her or not?
They should. There's times where it's just too complicated for them to get into, but sometimes, we need to help folks through that calculation on our end.
Windfall elimination basically says if you get too much money from other sources, you can't have the spouse?
More or less, yes.
But we're not talking about spousal. She made her own quarters. What spousal should be thrown out of this?
Okay, if you throw out spousal benefits, why can't she get her own Social Security in addition to para?
Sure. So she still would be eligible for her own Social Security benefits, and it would just be reduced by that windfall elimination provision. So,
but 180 grand, for God's sakes, how long does that? How long is that going to be held against her? How long ago did you take it, Francis?
Back in 2013.
So what do they do? Divide that by number of years?
Well, they said at that time, had it been a month-by-month check, they would have cut me $2,100 a month. And with a lump sum, that would be estimated at being used up in 8 years.
But you would have continued to get the $2,100 if you decided to.
If I had taken the check, monthly checkout, yes, I would get that for as long as I needed it. But even now, if I was getting $2,100 a month, it would be more than my husband.
Yeah, you wouldn't get spousal benefits. The question is, would you get Social Security? So, Josh, how would you calculate that? If she was due, they're figuring $2,100, the $180,000 equal to $2,100 a month. Is that right, Francis?
Yes, yes.
So, if someone gets $2,100 a month in para, would that pretty much eliminate her Social Security?
Yeah, so the calculation that they use is the lesser of either $498 a month or half of your para monthly benefit. That's what they would reduce it by. So you should still be eligible to get some sort of Social Security benefit. So
here's what I'd like. Seriously, as a favor, could you just look at this one item for Francis and let's see?
Absolutely.
You know, Francis, we're going to do this as a one-time thing. Now, they're not going to, they can't, work free for forever, but they can look into this one issue.
Yes.
It just confuses the hell out of me. So if you work 15 years and pay into Social Security,
right?
Let's say high earner, and then you work another 10 years as a school teacher, and you get para and get a one lump sum, you don't get anything for all that money you paid into Social Security. That seems crazy. I don't get it.
Well, Josh,
well, they're only saying you get your Medicare.
How old were you? Because they only figured at $2,100 that, well, with interest, maybe 10 years of benefits. So were they?
It's 85 months.
I understand.
Yeah,
but with interest and stuff, it could be more. So it could be like 8 years. So let's say they were projecting you to live only 8 years ago. 8 years. How old were you when you took that lump sum?
Well, I would have been just right at retirement age. So.
Well, why would they only figure another 10 years for her? I don't get it. Josh, they're actuarials. Why would they figure that? Because they're saying she's discounting it because she's getting it now, right?
Correct. She took it all up front, so she has it all now.
But if it was left in, it would have probably lasted her more like 20 years.
Sure. Yep, that's fair to say. Mm-hmm.
Francis, that was a bad decision. Is there a reason you did that?
Well, I mean, I had some health concerns at the time. There was just should I take a check for a long period of time or should I take a lump sum? And between the two of us, we, thought that lump sum was the better choice of the two at that time. And clearly there was no counseling at all with para, school districts,
no, but that's
like that.
That's exactly what Josh and his team, honest to God, that's what they do. Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies. I'm not trying to drum you into them. They're going to look at this free of charge for you, complimentary for me. They're looking into this.
Oh, thank you.
And then they're going to report back. So this is a situation where we can see what they do. 970-663-3211 is their number, 970-663-3211. Suze will make that formal connection there. But, Josh, thank you very much for being here. You guys are fantastic. And, Josh, seriously, wouldn't it be better if I do a Zoom meeting with you guys to the first meeting rather than drive up there or you come all the way down here? I think that's more efficient.
Absolutely.
You do. Yeah. Yep. So I'm going to send you a Zoom invite, and then you can tell me if you can make it or not. If not, we'll do it another time. Yes,
hey, Tom,
Suze.
They'll be in studio in a few weeks as well. Excited for that.
Oh, good. Okay, thank you very much. Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies, rpcenter.com, and we have more coming up.
They're good people, man. I've talked to them off the air. They are so smart. You know what I like? They're not money grabbers. They're
A
just
banner has to be rotated into a full top like we do. That's who pays. That's it. That's the whole reason that shit's there.
okay.
It doesn't matter what camera angle, anything. They have to be there that period of time.
Without any delay right now between North Glen and Castle Rock, and that certainly is good news. Now, we do have one accident reported. It's Tower Road approaching Kenya Boulevard, so watch for slow traffic there. And they're seeing some slower traffic on outbound Kenya as well. 225 and 6th Avenue, both up to full speed, looking good across I-70. Fox 31, pinpoint weather, mostly sunny and mild today, a low of 26.
Oh, what is their new public insurance adjuster? Their new URL is coclaims.com.
30, hey now.
Woodley's Fine Furniture, specializing in handcrafted Colorado-made furniture.
Shit.
The most comfortable leather furniture.
Yes, it's CO Claims. Got it.
Find better built furniture in Colorado than at Woodley. Visit woodleys.com today.
Right now, insurance adjusters have never been more important. Not regular insurance adjusters, public insurance adjusters. Don't be confused. If someone calls themselves an independent adjuster, they're working for the insurance company. They might have their own company, but they're contracted by the insurance company. They will never give you a fair settlement, ever. I don't care what they say. But as a public insurance adjuster, if you hire public insurance adjusters of Colorado, they work for you, and they will get into that coverage and make sure you get every last dime coming to you. Many times you'll get more than it actually takes to hire people, but they go by the prevailing prices. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, public insurance adjusters of Colorado will work for you. Joel and his team are set up for that smoke, fire, soot, ash from the Marshall fires, from direct loss or fringe loss. They can also help you with floods. They can help you with frozen pipes or anything that happens. A free evaluation of your claim and inspection of your home or business. It's free with no obligation. Take them up on it. coclaims.com is the website. CO, that's for Colorado, coclaims.com. 720-715-0000. Rocky Mountain IV Medics. Guess what? Sue's just called him this morning. I think she's going to get one too. And they're going to come to the studio. And they can come to your home or they can come to your business. Kurt Rogers can have them come over to Affordable Interest Mortgage. And why would you get IV therapy? It's the #1 therapy with everything else. If you have shock, they give it to you. If you have the flu, they give it to you. If you're in the hospital for a heart attack, they give it to you. You get fluids all the time. Fluids are good for you. Now, some people get it just for general health. And you can too. At your home for no more than going to an IV bar. RockyMountainIVMedics.com. That's RockyMountainIVMedics.com. Now listen, here's the thing. You can even call or text for same-day appointments. 720-987-2155. In fact, in same couple of hours, they can get there. 303-987-2155.
Have you still not...
Soon you might be kicking yourself in the head. Rates are at historic lows, so take advantage of our new fast track loan with an affordable low rate of 3%.
Tom, can you help me with your referral? This is what the lady says. You guys have a guy on the referral list that the commercial went something like this. Are your bedrooms over the garage cold? It's not just the furnace, but the fresh air. You need to balance the house. She doesn't know who you talk about that you say that.
I have
and
never,
maybe it's not.
I don't remember saying that. And man, if I did, it might have been years and years ago. Balance the house. It could have been. Hold on.
It's not just the furnace, but the fresh air. You need to balance the house.
Fresh air. What do you mean the fresh air? That's what I don't understand.
Was it those fans that you
Are your bedrooms over your garage cold?
I was probably thinking about that the insulating company.
Rocky Mountain Retro Foam?
Yeah, probably. Are they still on the referral list?
Yeah.
That's who I'm talking. Or give them that other company. Both of them. They're both good companies. That's probably.
Who's the other company? Rocky Mountain Retro and
then
QC?
Mark knows them. It's one of our insulation companies. They're really
Best
good.
Way Insulation?
Yeah, that woman owns it.
Yeah, Deb Wheeler.
Who do you like in the Super Bowl?
The Rams. Their defense is awesome.
Yeah, I don't think Cincinnati's quarterback can deal with the defense of the Rams. They're going to rattle him. And this kid's pretty calm. He's got ice in his veins. But they're going to rattle him.
Well, it's not a question of rattling him. If if what's his name, Donald, it's Aaron Donald and Von Miller keep chasing him around.
That's what I mean. He won't be able to have the time to throw.
Yeah, that's right.
They're going to rattle him. And when you do that to that kid, because the rest of the team's not there to pick him
Well, I
up.
don't know if it's being rattled. It's just if you don't have time to throw, you don't have time to throw. I think that's going to be the.
I agree.
The big thing.
At this age, we can't always plan on good health, but you can plan long-term care coverage to give peace of mind to you and your family. Hey, it's Mandy Call and
Hope it's as good a game as the last six.
Hallelujah.
my friends from 525 Advisors for their upcoming free long-term care planning live webinar this Saturday morning at 9. You'll learn so much.
The last 6 games have been killer.
Learn how long-term care works, what the coverage pays for, and you'll learn all the new options and different ways to find a plan. They even have plans with lifetime benefits that pay you back if you never use it. Then when you're ready, 525 Advisors will design a custom plan with you, just like they're doing for my husband and me right now. I love how much time they've spent with us, and it's not just me. Read the reviews. People love working with Brian and Madeline at 525 Advisors. So get the great peace of mind long-term care coverage gives you. Sign up now for the free live webinar this Saturday morning at 9. Sign up at 525longtermcare.com. That's 525longtermcare.com.
Good thing I got back here, because it would have been left to the Three Stooges.
One of us would have piped in.
Till you didn't hear it.
Of course I heard you. I just wasn't going to acknowledge.
By visiting RestoreOsteo.com. That's RestoreOsteo.com.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Harris Family Law. They do what's called unbundled services if you want, and that's really important. That means if you're going through a divorce and you just need one item handled, or you're reopening something like child support or maybe a separation agreement or maybe, whatever it is, they can handle one item for you. HarrisFamilyLaw.com. In fact, they also do collaborative law, which means that when they take on a case, they work with the other side in this way. They agree not to file anything without conversations and really to talk everything out, to keep costs down. They've been very successful at collaborative law. 303-515-5000. HarrisFamilyLaw.com. 303-515-5000. Let's keep going. And Robert, what's going on? Yes. What's happening, Robert?
Yeah. Well, Tom, I got a question for you. I'm trying to get a little bit of information on a contract that I done for a fella. He decided he wanted to fire me midstream.
And what were you doing for work, Robert? What were you doing for work?
I was painting the interior of a new home up in Pagosa Springs.
And did the homeowner want to fire you or the contractor you were working for?
The homeowner.
So you were working directly for the homeowner?
Correct.
Okay. And do you have a business, or was it just like a handyman thing, or what?
I have a business. I have a painting business.
Okay. And so the homeowner says, I don't want you here anymore.
Yeah, basically that's what it boils down to. He said he didn't want me there anymore, and he basically had me escorted from the project.
And why what reason was he given? Did he give you?
To be honest with you, I didn't get a clear, definitive answer from him. He told me that I needed to speak to his attorney, but I have been unable to get an attorney.
How much of the job was done?
I did the first phase was just basically completed.
What does that mean? What's the first phase?
I did all the prep, mask, and primed all the walls and ceilings, and sprayed the ceilings, the ceiling color.
I'll say so. Prep, prime, and ceiling color. Okay, so hold on one sec. Did you have a contract?
I did have a contract, a very thorough contract.
Okay, so what's your question?
My question is, what are my options at this point in time? I mean, he did pay me up to this point for what I've completed, but there's still a significant amount left on the table, and I was kind of left holding the ball. I had to tell my guys, the job was
okay. I
not
get
going
it.
forward.
Now he breached. Listen, he's going to say he stopped for cause. You're going to say it's a breach. If he breached the contract, the question is, what are your losses? If he paid you up to the date you left, do you have losses? And I mean real losses, Robert. For example, did you guarantee wages or daily rates that you're going to have to come up with? Or did you buy paint you can't return? Do you actually have, and I'm not talking about lost opportunity, because, well, that maybe, if this was going to take you another week and you had turned down jobs for that week, that could be part of your losses. But, Robert, without manufacturing them because they're going to eat you alive in court, I need to know, do you have real substantial losses?
Yes, I do, Tom. I mean, I have.
How much?
To do the.
Just tell me.
I would say $2,000. $2,000 on a minimum.
How much was the whole job?
$15,000.
And you've gotten paid how much?
$6,500.
$6,500?
Yep.
Okay. Now, here's the question: for the balance of that, is it? Do you want the balance of the job, or do you want the $2,000? Would you walk for $2,000?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
$2,000.
That's good, because you can sue the guy in small claims court if you act first, and then it'll have to stay with relaxed rules of evidence. If you sue him for $2,000, but you have to show those losses for breach of contract. Now he's going to claim, in fact, his attorney will probably countersue you and say it's not a breach of contract if she wants to get that serious. Does she really have an attorney, or was that just her talking?
I would assume that he has an attorney. He doesn't seem like the type of person that would bullshit, but he hasn't given me any information.
All right, hold on. I got it. Okay, I got it.
What about a lien, Tom?
Huh?
What about a lien?
He can do a lien for sure. That might be the easiest way. Robert, I can't bring you back up right now because you said bull or whatever.
I want to know what happened.
I do too. Hang on, Robert. We'll bring you back, but you really got to be careful, okay?
We could answer this a lot better if you give us what her side is, whether it's right or wrong.
And Ants will tell us when we're back up and running with the delay. Smarty Marty's on with an ice rink update. Yesterday, a woman called who said, we have an ice program, showed up at the ice rink, and hockey team was, going overtime. And we were pissed because they wouldn't get him off the ice, and it shorted our program. So what's going on, Marty?
Well, Tom, this is a little complicated. The woman, Ella, she has a relationship with the company that rents the space.
What do you mean that rents the space?
Well, it's not the ice rink itself. The ice rink rents the space to a company that is a private company. So
and what does that private company do? They rent to this program and they rent to the hockey team?
Right. Well, it's not hockey. It's whatever this Ella has a daughter in a program. It's kind of like a skating program with other women.
Yeah, but when they showed up, who was on the ice?
Yeah, apparently the hockey team went over, like you said. So,
okay, who does the hockey team rent from?
I guess the ice rink itself too. I mean, it's the broker, it's the company that Ella rents from is responsible to address this with the ice rink.
Well, hold on. When Ella called us, she told us that. Ella told us she was calling for the ice program that rents from the ice ring.
Right. So the problem is that Ella has a friendly relationship with the leader of this program.
Well, so what? What does that have to do with anything?
Well, because she doesn't want to make waves. So I told her.
Oh, she doesn't want to make waves for her friend who runs the program.
Right.
I got it.
So what I told her, I said, I'll work for your behalf, but this could create a breakup of your friendship or your relationship. Why don't you talk to your friend first?
Yeah, to see if she wants you to intercede for her.
Yeah, that's what I did. I said, because maybe she does, maybe she won't. So she did talk to the friend, and she does not want me to intercede because she has a relationship with the ice rink.
Well, first
tepid
of all,
as it
here's
might
what I'd
be.
like to know. I want to know if this skating program for young girls that Ella called about, the program itself, were they upset that the hockey team was there?
I couldn't get that out of Ella, but because she said the owner of the program is kind of wishy-washy herself, that she doesn't have the guts to speak to the rink.
Okay. Then here's the deal. There's
character.
nothing we can do about it. I mean,
no, but there was a resolution.
What?
We did get resolution. We got resolution.
What did you do? You contacted the ice rink anyway?
No. I had Ella speak to her friend as to what options are available.
And?
Because Ella wanted her money back.
Okay.
So the friend said, I cannot give you the money back. However, I can make arrangements where you can have unlimited time on the ice at whenever the hockey team's not there.
Oh, wow.
And Ella took that option.
Oh, that's good.
But here's the kicker. Ella still has the option of getting her money back because she put it on credit card. So I told Ella, why don't you try it this way? And if it doesn't work out, you could still talk to your friend and say, look, I tried it your way. Please, can I have my money back? If not, you can have the option of going to credit card.
I mean, this is all over 15 minutes short on the program, which is ridiculous.
Well, that's why I said you better weigh your options and decisions and measure your friendship.
Yeah, because Marty, the whole thing came down. The whole thing came down to 15 minutes. I asked her how much were you shorted on the ice program. She said 15 minutes. I got to take this break. Thank you, Smarty Marty, once again.
Comes through.
Now, impact traffic.
Don't tell me a story with 1,000 words if 10,000 words will do.
Who, Marty? Yes.
I still don't know what
He
happened.
doesn't know what the word succinct means. We have to get that into his vocabulary.
You're not supposed to know, Mark.
Slowing traffic on southbound Santa Fe, Florida. Fox 31 pinpoint weather.
I have got a meeting at 1 o'clock, so I am going to be out a little early.
For a high tomorrow of 45 with a 50% chance for scattered snow showers tomorrow evening. Currently, it's 57. With your impact traffic.
And the gas is high as $6 a gallon in California.
Really?
Good.
That's a lot of dough, man.
It's not just your mortgage loan, it's their masterpiece. Join them at becomepremier.com. Federally insured by the NCUA. Equal housing lender. NMLS 416701.
Let's talk about O'Brien Legal Services. It is the law firm of Brad O'Brien and his people to do real estate law. They're skilled real estate attorneys for residential and commercial, and I urge you to use them if you're buying or selling real estate of any kind, commercial or residential. And how about an agreement if an unmarried couple buying a home together, or seller financing review? What about contract reviews in general, even leases? He can do it all. Property fences, fence line issues, easements, access, adverse possession, liens, title and survey review, clearing a title from a lien, maybe a quiet title action, litigation if you're in trouble. Here's the deal. Real estate is one of the biggest things we do, and surprisingly, it's one of the areas most of us don't call attorneys about. We just go to a closing blindly. OLSlaw.com. Having an attorney review docs doesn't add a lot to that. Not when you're talking about buying something for $600,000, $700,000, $800,000. O'Brien Legal Services. OLSlaw.com. 720-370-7388. 720-370-7388. I would like you to take the time to call Core Scans or look online, corescans.com. That's COR. Scans.com to find out what a $189 scan can do for you. It detects soft plaque. It's not a calcium score. It shows your arterial age and the presence of soft plaque, which is a direct indicator of heart disease and risk of stroke. And if you find some, all's not lost. You can get a referral to a doctor or go to your own, and there are treatments now that can stop it and reverse it in its tracks. And what's wonderful is the scan is just $189, but all the treatments covered by insurance. 720-740-2663. 720-740-2663.
How long will this bull market last? What will the next recession look like? Are you financially prepared? Visit my website now at kurtcambier.com for your free portfolio analysis. That's Kurt with a K, CAMBIER.com.
Securities offered through Cambridge Investment Research, Inc., a broker-dealer, member of FINRA SIPC. Investment advisor representative, Cambridge Investment Research Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor. Cambridge and Centennial Capital Partners are not affiliated.
Replace that old furnace and air with a new Carrier system, saving more than $2,000 only from Plumline and Carrier. Turn to the experts. Plumline Services has been earning trust in Colorado since 1998, with a north location serving Boulder and Longmont. Schedule your service online. No phone call, no hassle, no wait. Plumline exudes excellence in every call with the highest of ethics. PlumlineServices.com. Service at home. Servants at heart.
Look, staying healthy isn't easy. Watching your diet, hitting the gym, avoiding stress. But a good night's rest helps boost your overall health and wellness. And it couldn't be easier. The Sleep Number 360 Smart Bed effortlessly adjusts and responds to both of you. The result? You wake up ready for anything. Proven quality sleep is life-changing sleep. And now during the Ultimate Sleep Number event, save 50% on the Sleep Number 360 Limited Edition Smart Bed, plus special financing, only for a limited time. Special financing subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store for details.
Hi, it's Marty Lenz. I've got some big news from my friend, Gay Ribble.
Well, Southwest just came back to not serving alcohol. That's what you want. Unruly passengers that you can give them alcohol.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
So then they can be unruly and out of control.
She was put on the no-fly list.
Can you turn off the mic for a second?
Limited time. That's where the buyer pays all of the commission. So to be clear, as a seller, you pay zero in commission. That's because Gay has thousands of buyers in her Buyers in Waiting program that will gladly pay the commission so you can sell your home receiving the best-in-class service while netting the most money possible. Call my friend today, Gay Ribble, at 833-453-SOLD, 833-453-SOLD. Gay, spelled G-A-Y-E, gayhasthebuyers.com, gayhasthebuyers.com.
Got a party of 10 coming in, and we need to flip those two tables.
Leah's restaurant is fully booked night after night.
Section 3 is still behind.
She no longer has reservations about finally finding a hostess.
Why doesn't 23 have menus? Oh, because they're in my hand.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Exergen would like you to know about an important study just released by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has known all along. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate. The study also reports that they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. We can't afford to tolerate the rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
With a new year comes new ways to save big. Belco Credit Union is offering 1% APY on a 24-month CD on balances of $500 or more. That's right, 1% APY on a 24-month CD. To get that higher rate, you typically need to be in a longer term. Stop by any Belco branch, call 1-800-BELCO-1, or visit belco.org/CD to open a CD online in minutes. Belco membership is required. Conditions and restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA. Belco, banking for everyone.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Okay, listen. I have never seen or heard of anything more stupid than the notice I got from the United States Post Office. I ordered an oversized package. And
I bet you I've had a stupider one. Go ahead.
The package is about 4 feet by 4 feet, maybe.
It's going to say, can I guess?
Not a cube, but more of a rectangle, maybe 6 inches wide. It's a massage table.
I know.
I don't want to get into the why. No, it's it's a massage table for
a side gig.
No, but seriously, it's a massage table I wanted to keep in my home. So
I know what it said.
The notice said the mailbox was too small.
Yep, we get those all the time.
Now hold on. My front porch is right there.
Yep.
Right there.
Been there. We live it out in Franktown.
Why couldn't they leave it there?
We had a dog food, 50-pound thing. You know, you go to Amazon, you get it.
So how did you get it?
We had to go pick it up.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said I want to arrange to pick up because I didn't want to even leave it to the moron to come back.
They said, hey, the package we have for you is too big for the mailbox. I said, no kidding.
But isn't parcel post, isn't all of it bigger than a mailbox?
Of course.
And don't they usually leave it on the front porch?
Yes, unless they're lazy.
Maybe now with, I don't know, with Porch Pirates, they don't do it. But Amazon does. I mean, Amazon, yeah.
No,
UPS,
no. They were
FedEx.
Lazy. They were just simply lazy. I don't care what you say.
Do you really think so?
Well, in my circumstance in Franktown, and I hope they're listening, yes.
Hey, Robert, I want to get into this contract thing, man. I think here's what's going to happen. If you have a signed contract, you ought to put a lien on the house because she breached the contract.
Okay.
If you're ready to come back and finish, and you're not being paid on the rest of the contract, you can sue for the rest of that contract. I'm talking about the balance. Like, what would it be? Another $7,000-8,000, right? Whatever. You can you can put a lien on the house, but then they're going to come back and challenge it. So as Mark asked before, what happened? You must have, come on, you didn't have a clue? All of a sudden, she says, I don't want you there?
I have a clue. No. I have an understanding of, from what I've gathered is that they were concerned about my ability to supply the proper manpower to be able to complete the project in the manner that we had discussed.
Hold on. And at the point they terminated, were you going beyond any deadline?
No, I was not.
How long did you give yourself, or did she give you, to get it done, even if it was verbally?
The first phase was right on the timeline. I was right on the timeline. In fact,
then why did they doubt you? Come on, man. Don't play games. Let me know. Why did they doubt you?
Because I was working solo, and I actually didn't have contact with him indirect. I was dealing with him from another state.
I thought you would slap a lien on it for the full amount. He's calling for advice. If long as he's not lying, that's what I would do.
That's what I would do too, man. If you want to talk about it more, we can. If you want us to help, hang on the line. I'm Tom Martino.
We got a great update coming up.
303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Get in on the lines. We have open lines on the Troubleshooter Show.
Good update. What subject? Pull up 4 River that you have.
Whose update is it?
Mine.
Sandy, heavy piece of equipment. Okay.
That's her. Yeah, I had one of those folks email me.
By the wildfire.
Which one?
To avoid common mistakes when
Are we on?
Insurance company.
Investors International's free webinar series, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. Strictly educational, nothing being sold. Learn how to educate yourself.
Prepare, submit, and optimize your insurance.
Yeah, they're important.
40-minute presentations.
Well, all of them. That's what the only reason we have videos.
Anyway, so.
Oh, man.
So did you read that those kids
So the following program will
Jefferson
be
County
recorded.
Station walk out because they fired the superintendent?
Douglas County.
Right. Do you believe they even know who the superintendent?
Listen, man.
From school.
If anybody told me we're doing a walkout, if I was at school that day, I'd walk out. I wouldn't even ask why. Why are we doing it? Wouldn't happen.
Exactly my point.
What time would be more of it? I might actually get up and be the first out.
Do you think it was Tina Peters that was arrested? I don't care.
Hey, Doc, did we ever find anything on Blue Sky?
I keep leaving messages.
Blue Sky.
I spoke to Paul this morning. I tried.
He's out there looking at something
I
else.
tried it when I first came in, and I'll try it as soon as the show's over. I'll keep trying it.
They suck. They're giving us the full-blown finger. Who is this Richard Taliano?
He says he's my buddy.
He's your buddy?
He probably knows you from Catskill, New York.
Probably through Gabriel.
That guy's dangerous, man.
Fuck, I know.
Said you would know him from the Red Vest Inn nightclub.
Red Vest Inn.
I can't imagine Tom in a nightclub.
Here's the thing, Tommy. This is what he says. He starts off with, I'm looking to rekindle an old friendship with Tom. I said, oh, you know, what's your information? And then he says something about somebody from the city of Westminster told me I should give him a call. I didn't even know he was still in the air. I said, oh, well, if you need help, let's get you on the air. And so anyway, Tom, I said, well, we generally put everything on the air. And
What was it called? The Red what?
Vest Inn.
Red Vest
Inn. It might have been an old one.
Yeah, he said from 30 years ago. Or 30 years ago, he said, not 50.
The Red Vest
Inn nightclub.
Looks like it's a gay bar.
Can you find anything on it?
No, let's see what it is.
But anyway, and I just spelled his name the way I heard it. He was 90 years old, and I'm not going to go through the spelling of his name with him. So the Red Vest.
They're all in different states.
Oh. So, but honestly, Tom, I think he needed help.
Yeah, of course.
So sometimes people do that.
Of course.
Wait. Nope, that's the Red Onion.
I used to go there a lot.
You did?
The Red Onion in California.
Oh, this is in here. I don't see any the Red Vest Inn anywhere.
In fact, the Red Onion was the Friday hangout in Los Angeles, California. Everybody would work downtown.
Wait a minute, I wonder if this is it. Let me see. No, this is Colorado. Oh, shit. What is light for now? What's it bring to your rate to?
Hey,
has it hit 4? What's your rate at on the loan? Is it 4 now?
No, it went up 3/4 of a point in the last 2 periods. It's actually 4 1/4.
Yeah. The only thing that's going to drive this hot housing market down is going to be higher rates, man.
See, it doesn't hurt that loan. I've got more business on it now because the rates have gone up. More people are going to that loan.
No, if you've got real equity in your house, there's no doubt about it, man. And if you have any cash, it just doesn't matter.
Yep.
I was told by the other guy not to pay off. I only owe like 100. Why would he say not to pay it off? This was 6-7
because they
months
won't
ago.
give you a loan if you're not taking out any money, and the minimum is $100,000.
Oh, okay.
Now, after you close on it,
you can do whatever.
Pay it off. But they don't. They want you to have at least 100. They don't want to give.
When you pay it off, it keeps the line of credit open.
That's correct.
Yeah.
$60 a year.
The metro area highways are accident-free right now, so that's good news, listeners, and you're gonna be
Man, I got a racquetball. I got a Zoom. I'm looking forward to the Super Bowl.
Who do you like? Who'd you bet on?
I bet everything I made this season on LA -4. And I did it right after the game, man. Here's why. You ready?
I'm listening.
The Bengals looked so fucking bad that first half, I couldn't even believe they were in the playoffs. Then KC started sucking.
I need you, but you may have to start just.
We're good.
I'll be right
The
back.
Bengals didn't do anything different. KC
Talk to
just
Kurt about-
started
No,
sucking.
you're wrong. They did something totally different in the second half.
What?
If you read it, they did something about dropping their safeties and having a new defensive lineup
I'll have
to
to look.
prevent what Kansas City was doing in the first half.
I didn't
and
see
wait, and Kansas City didn't readjust. That's what I read.
Well, what I saw
changed
was him throwing picks fucking left and right.
Well, because they changed the defensive lineup. And you notice they couldn't run in the second half. They totally changed their defensive structure. That's what I read. That's why Kansas City didn't readjust at the second half, and the Bengals did.
They got comfortable with the lead. My point, well, there's no doubt about that. But that's why I went with them. I just thought the Bengals fucking.
I don't think the Bengals can stop the defense.
That's what I agree with you.
And I like the fact it's in L.A. I mean, being the Super Bowl, it really doesn't matter.
That's 2 years in a row.
I know.
2 years in a row.
Hasn't happened in 50.
Never happened, and it's happened 2 years in a row. You know, that's a nice, they're both nice stadiums. That SoFi is gorgeous.
Yeah, you said
We're going out to see these guys, Metallica. I got a tour of Allegiant. It's unbelievable. It's the nicest stadium I've ever been in.
You've been in it?
Yeah, I got a private tour when I was buying our boxes or our seats. Look at this thing, man. I gotta get over there in a second. Just go through these.
Go that way?
Yeah. Look at those seats I got. You'll see them. Big recliners. It's gorgeous, though, man. It's clean. All right, folks, 303-713-8255. That's the only number you need. Here's what we do. If you're new to the show, I'll make it very simple. We solve problems, answer questions, take complaints. We make your life a little bit better. We go after the bad guys. You got someone out there that ripped you off, someone out there that has taken advantage of you, or maybe just a question. We have a list of experts at referralist.com that are everything from contractors to attorneys, dentists, you name it, we have them on referralist.com. We use our experts all the time to help you. What are you going to hire an attorney over some guy that took $700 and never finished your basement? No, you're going to call this show and we're going to get involved. And if your story's true, we're going to expose the rat for what he is. That is what we do. 303 Martino, by the way. Excuse me, that phone number works on and off the air. 303-713-8255. You can get through right now. You know, in studio with me, I have Kurt Rogers, Affordable Interest Mortgage. And Kurt has something. Look, I'm going to be straight. There's a ton of mortgage people out there. There's a ton of mortgage products. Kurt has all the products they sell, but the reason I like them is because of one product that very few people have in this country. In fact, Kurt, I want to ask you something. Why in Europe, for example, most people do not have 30-year mortgages? Are we just simply greedy over here in the U.S.? The banks are greedy, and that's why we came up with these?
Well, the 30-year mortgage started 50, 60 years ago. But we are the only country in the world that offers that loan that way.
Why do you think that?
I don't believe most of the lending institutions or the people that are borrowing money over there agree with the way that system is, being front-end loaded with interest.
Yeah, it is. So, in other words, what Kurt's saying is if you go out and get a 30-year mortgage right now and look at your schedule of payments, your amortization schedule, you're going to notice your interest is the highest on payment 1 and the absolute lowest on payment 360 or whatever the math is.
That is correct.
Yeah, it's going to be. So it's kind of strange how we pay interest. We pay it in the United States front-loaded. If you look at something that's simple interest, like what AIM, and that's Affordable Interest Mortgage and Kurt, one of the products they have is very curious because they don't front-load it like that. It is called, what are we even calling it now?
The liquid loan. Tom calls it, yes.
The liquid loan. So the liquid loan, and I'm going to say what it is real quick. The interest rate's a little higher, but what you'll find out is it doesn't matter because you're going to pay simple interest. You're also going to have an attached line of credit that's good for 30 years. Let's say your house is worth $500,000 right now and you owe $100,000 on it.
Kurt, they would most likely get a $350,000 line of credit, right? $400,000 line. So
80%. They go.
I thought actually you could go to 90. Is that changed?
You can on a purchase or a refi. But
okay.
But if you're taking cash out, the most.
But on a purchase or a refi, you can go to
90%.
Okay, so but in this scenario, let's say you're refining. You owe 100. The house is $500,000. You got $400,000 in equity. You convert your regular loan that you're in now to this. You're going to end up still owing $100,000, but it's going to be based on simple interest, and we'll get back into that in a second. But better yet, you're going to have this line of credit for $400,000.
Correct.
That is going to be there for 30 years. Let's say you lose your job after this happens. You can use that line of credit to literally pay your mortgage. Let's say you're doing good and you have a savings account or you have a lot of cash in checking. That money, if you transfer it to the bank that these guys use, and you can still write checks and cash and do everything you can with, just like you have now with a savings and checking account. Check this out. If you've got $50,000 in cash sitting around on an average time, you can put it in that bank, and that $100,000 mortgage that you're paying simple interest on, you'll only be paying simple interest on $50,000, even though that money's liquid. It's not locked up. You're not paying anything off, but it'll offset dollar per dollar. You got $100,000 in savings and checking combined, you don't pay any mortgage.
No, correct.
Zip, zero, zilch. So even though, and this is the part I always get complaints. Well, the interest rate's higher. It doesn't matter because it's based on simple interest, and you can offset the amount. And if you ever need the money, my God, that line of credit is 30 years. You get a HELOC or a second mortgage, they can most likely call that in 5 years. Sometimes they can even call it in 1 year.
Yeah, sometimes there's a yearly review.
Yes.
So if somebody's credit changes during the time they have the liquid loan, then what?
Nothing. Doesn't affect them. One of the other advantages about that liquid loan is, let's say in 4 or 5 years you want to do a remodel. You're going to have to go out and refinance, qualify again, pay more fees.
Without the liquid loan.
Without the liquid loan. So it satisfies so many needs down the road that could be unexpected. You talked about losing your job or buying investment property. You have all the liquidity in this loan to use that money to improve your portfolio without having to refinance.
I would argue in certain cases, and math never lies. That's what's so great about math. In some cases, I think people that are over 62 looking at a reverse mortgage and a line of credit or monthly cash coming in, I would say this product would actually save them a bunch of interest in the right scenario. And they could always use that money to pay the mortgage.
Correct. It works a lot like a reverse mortgage, but they will do higher percentages. A reverse mortgage is on a percentage based on age.
Yeah, they're like 50% if you're, 65 or whatever it is.
Close to 70. At this one at 62, you can get 80% and only borrow the $100,000 or 20% of it, but have access to it and start taking $2,000 a month out at your own speed.
And then go the next step and compare the interest or the effective interest on a reverse.
Yeah, this is about half. The effective interest rate on this comes in at about 2.5 across the board.
All right, 303-713-TALK. Let's talk to Ted. Ted, what's going on with you? What's happening, Ted?
Hi, I was just calling about my association dues. They just went up like 33.3%.
Oh, my goodness. So from what to what in actual numbers?
From $300 to $340 a month.
From $300 to $340. Did they give a reason for it?
Yeah, they sent a expenditure deal here, but...
I mean, in other words, everything is ruled by the bylaws. Let's put it that way. And it's not what they want, it's what they're allowed to do. But I'm almost certain that they're not stupid enough to do that unless they had authority. But you could easily ask this, Ted. You could say, I noticed the dues went from $300 to $340. I would like to know what gives you the... I'm not protesting, I'm asking, what gives you the authority? Can you show me in the bylaws, point to me in the bylaws where it gives you authority to increase 13%? I am sure they have the authority to do it. Because Unless they took a special vote, do you recall anybody discussing increased fees?
Yeah, there has been some discussion about it. But it's like March, and they usually do it in January if they're going to do it, and they just sprung this on us out of nothing.
They might have had an expense come in, or the other thing that possibly could have happened, they simply fell below whatever that safety line is.
Or could their insurance have gone up significantly?
Oh, that's another. Hey, Doc, that's a beautiful one. Their insurance could have went up. Sure, everybody's insurance is going up. Thank you, Brandon.
303.
Yeah.
I don't know, Ted. I mean, it's one of those things, man. I mean, everything is going up, and you said they did cite some issues. What issues did they cite?
Oh, there's a lot of them. There's probably 40 of them.
Oh, my goodness. So they really... Okay.
Yeah, they sent a whole list of stuff.
Okay. What's the most significant one?
Oh, God. Janitorial, some security patrol, which we really don't have. Everything you can possibly think of.
Okay.
You know,
listen, I mean, Ted, you don't think they're doing...
Snow
I mean,
removal to everything, but...
I mean, you believe prices have gone up, right? When was the last time you had an increase?
Last year.
Well, there you go. I mean, did you have one before that?
Yeah, of course. But this is the highest that's went up. And this is probably the worst time it could possibly happen.
Oh, man, everybody is saying that, man. I mean, inflation right now, they just came out with the new numbers, 7.5%, highest in 40 years. Wait till the guy right now beats Jimmy Carter at 14% in the next year, guys.
What do you mean?
Yeah, I'm not arguing that point at all. It's just everything has went up so much. It's getting extremely difficult.
No, a lot of people, even people that are making 5-6% more in their pockets each month, or their Social Securities, they're still at a net loss because everything costs more.
Yeah, that's for sure. Right. Listen, I would say call them and ask them for an accounting where they get their authority. Suze, do you have, is it for Kurt Rogers?
Yeah, a gentleman wants to know if Kurt can do a loan out of Texas.
I can't, but I can find him one to do this loan.
To do the liquid loan?
Texas is the only state they will not do the liquid loan.
They don't allow it?
Only on investment. They won't do it on a primary.
Why?
Because Texas laws on
homestead.
On HELOC loans. They won't do them.
Wow.
Only state.
303-713-8255.
They only do investments.
It's actually great for an investment property because then you got something, let's say it's an Airbnb or something you're renting out a lake house. You own it. You got a line of credit on it. You can still use the money you would have spent to buy it on something else. I mean, it's crazy. It's a great investment.
It's going to save me a bunch of money. Hold on, guys.
Claims Pro is one of the people that I truly endorse when it comes to public adjusters. He's on a referral list at referrallist.com. They do any kind of insurance claim you may have to help you get the most out of your coverage. Again, we believe in public adjusters. Claims Pro is one of them. Peter, you can call him at 833-252-4600, 833-252-4600. With any insurance loss, he's happy to go through it to make sure you're being treated fairly. The website is publicadjuster.pro. All right. Water Pros for the best water systems at the lowest prices ever. That's waterpros.net. And I mean that, whether it's a whole house system for under $2,000 or a point-of-use water fountain for under $1,000, waterpros.net. And realcbdthatworks.com is available right now with a 30% discount if you use Tom in the promo code. That's all you have to do. And you get 30% off on all products, including the new viral fighting formula that's been shown in a lab to fight viruses, including COVID, from entering into human cells. There's also, of course, cosmetic lines and pain formulas and anti-inflammation, anti-anxiety formulas. That's realcbdthatworks.com. ColidoCare.com. Hey, Colorado Pain Care Sport and Spine. Oh, what can I say about them? They've gotten me out of pain. They can get you out too. 303-GOT-PAIN. You know why I talk about them? Because they really work. And I wouldn't do it if they didn't. They work on the pain. They'll work with your other healthcare providers if you want them to. They accept all major insurance. Here's the main thing. They work on pain. They get your life back. 303-GOT-PAIN. It's ColoradoPainCare.com. 303-GOT-PAIN. 2 locations in Denver, South Colorado Boulevard, and in Lakewood near Alameda and Union. Mention Martino, get a free water bottle, stainless steel water bottle at your first visit. 303-GOT-PAIN. Speaking of medical stuff, I talk about core scans because I've had it done. I'm a believer. Did you know every 36 seconds someone drops dead from cardiovascular disease, which can include stroke and aneurysms and all that? Listen, cardiovascular disease is nothing to play with. With core scans, they can show your risk factor based on soft plaque, not calcium scores, not what happened in the past, but what's happening right now. They give you a full radiology report for $189. It's a 15-minute scan. Keep your clothes on, pain-free. And I urge you to do it, all right, because it may save your life, because there is life-saving treatment. Insurance covers it, but get the scan. 720-740-2663. 720-740-2663.
Are you suffering from chronic joint?
Hey, Kurt, I just wanted to see if you still have, this guy doesn't want to come on the air, but he wanted me to clarify. There are investment properties in Texas. Can you do a line of credit on investment properties?
Yes.
I'll tell you.
Is today Thursday?
Yes, it is. Every day of the week. Thursday.
All day long,
all
baby.
Day. Until 12 o'clock, right?
11:59.
59.
I didn't realize I got my kids this weekend again. God, I'm getting tired.
That's what you said.
I love them.
That's why you can't do the meatballs.
That's right. Yeah, there's no way I could get time to cook and pay attention to that.
Truckers planning to block major roads in the U.S. Damn truckers.
They're pissed off.
Fuck, I'd be pissed off too, man.
Yeah.
You know, at one point in Canada, they wanted them wearing a mask in their cab.
Yeah, that's right.
In their cab.
That's right.
By themselves. I mean, where's that science? Is it like strep throat? You're going to keep reinfecting yourself?
You know what? I am so fucking tired. The thing is, we have really fucked up this country. COVID fucked up this country and the world. Look at Australia. We think we got it bad. It's like living in Germany, Nazi Germany. They have camps, right?
Well, they just opened up.
Oh,
no mask, no mandate.
Are you shitting?
They just did about a week ago.
They
opened up the whole country.
That's so
all of a sudden, just that. Okay, we were wrong. Okay, let's do this.
No, hey, I don't know if they said we were wrong.
No, they didn't say that, but they switched. Oh, okay, we're fine now.
Their actions said that.
Yeah. It's hysterical.
They say the sound's really fucked up on YouTube. Lips moving, no sound, something, I don't know. You might have to resync it.
You can't resync it. You have to restart it. You restart it, you blow it.
Yeah. You know how, have you seen where you can bring it down a second and up a second? The sound?
I've seen that, but that really doesn't do any good. It really doesn't do any good because what's happening is they're on a stream and the network just simply starts buffering.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
Because everybody doesn't have more than a gig. We can't guarantee what delivers out there. We can only guarantee that we deliver to the network.
Yeah.
And then from there, the network starts distributing.
That's right. People have a slow service, they're fucked.
Slow services, hundreds of people or all the people.
Or even a slow computer, for that matter. Holy shit, man, we dropped 500 points today. Fucking inflation number was crazy. They better hope that, you know, they're saying in 40 years, that's 81, 82. They better hope we don't have the highest inflation in 42 years. They think shit's bad now. Wait till a mortgage costs you 14%.
Special offer when you sign up only at DraftKings Sportsbook.
This is the least amount of delay we're going to get. Listen,
I have nothing to compare it to.
Yes, you will. Just put one up in your ear and then start listening to what's going on in here. That is the least amount of delay that we're ever going to get. Okay, that's from me talking here through those cameras. Boom. That's what's going out to the net.
What they're saying, though, and occasionally this happens, it's not the delay of everything. They're saying the mouth ain't matching up with the words.
It's the synchronization, and I can't make these codecs do anything other than what they're going to do.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. We have time for calls. You can get right in. In fact, we have an hour and a half for calls. So if you have a problem, question, or complaint, or a question on the loan, the liquid loan, give us a call. The liquid loan, I think, is one of the most advanced loans there are. But here's the thing. It's been around a long time. Yes. And in other countries, it's been quite common.
1965.
You know, think about it. Now, technically, could you, if you didn't want the extra money line of credit, you just want to pay off your first and have simple interest, could you theoretically, if you know you're going to be in your house 10 years, can you get that simple interest loan? Let's say I owe whatever, just take like $200,000-300,000, pay off my first, and could I pay interest only on that?
Yes.
No penalties.
No penalties.
So, Mark, it could be an interest only loan on simple interest.
Yeah, you're on $100,000. It's $375 a month.
So on how much? On
$100,000 is $375.
So for every $100,000,
$375.
$375. So think about that, folks. Interest only. If you're only going to be there 10 years, it's stupid to have an amortized loan. When do you really start dipping into the principal?
At about 170 to 175 months, almost 15 years, does your principal payment equal your interest payment in a normal mortgage?
When do you...
That's where people get screwed a lot when they refi, though. If they don't go, if they're in a 30 and they're on year 15 and they go to refi to lower that payment and start over again on a 30, oh my God, they just, they doubled their interest they're going to pay for that house.
And people are doing that a lot because...
Even if they get a lower rate,
yeah.
I know.
The lower rate means nothing at that point.
No.
It's the interest.
Does it pay to send a separate check in every month and say, apply to principal?
No, it does it automatically. Every dollar you put in the account, all of it goes to principal.
Oh, is he coming through on that, Mike? Because every time he talks, I don't get to hear him.
I don't hear him. That was me. I didn't hit the button.
Just test.
Can you hear me now?
No. He's not on, is he?
Meaning Doc?
Yeah.
Nah, Doc's not coming.
Doc, that's not on, man.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Here's my question then.
And every time he talks...
If you have a regular, traditional 30-year mortgage, can you write a separate check every month and say apply to principal?
Of course. Yes.
Okay, so is that a good idea?
If you're wanting to pay off the home faster, yes.
Okay.
Well,
if you have some extra cash, just throw in a couple of $100 or something every month in a separate check, say apply to principal, and it'll reduce the principal balance.
As long as you're up on payments, you can't just do that without paying the interest.
Yeah. One extra payment a year takes 7 years and 9 months off your mortgage.
Are you kidding me? One extra payment a year
takes off 7 years.
And that extra payment is just an extra principal payment.
Correct.
But I want to go over how you do that properly. Okay, let's say you have an amortization schedule. Okay? Now, if you are on it doesn't matter, pick a number, payment number 10, and you want to start paying ahead. Is it true you make payment number 10, then you go to the line 11 and pay just the principal?
Correct.
And then the next time you skip to line 12.
And do that.
And then you pay on line 12, that payment full, and then the principal for line 13.
Correct.
And then the next time you go not to 14, but to 15. So you're turning it into a 15-year loan plus paying a lot less interest.
Yeah, because they'll take the interest off, the payments off the rears, not off the front. But it's lowering your payoff. It's not lowering your payment, and you're paying more principal up front on a standard loan. So, yes, it'll work. You'll pay it off in about 15
But basically, why was amortized interest? And for those wondering do they call it amortized interest or it's the rule of something? What is that rule of?
Rule of 78.
What does that mean?
Rule of 78 is if you're making 7% on your money, it will double every 10 years.
Then that doesn't come. What I'm getting at is this. Where did this concept of amortization come in? It's unnatural. Where did it come in as opposed to simple interest? It's easy to contemplate. If I borrow $100,000, I pay interest on $100,000 for the number of days I have it out, and I start paying it down. So I pay $100,000, I pay $1,000 payment or whatever I pay it down, and then I pay interest on only the remainder. Why is it with amortization? Where did the concept come along that your first payment is mostly interest, and your first 10 years of payments are mostly interest? Where did that come up?
Banks.
When the banks first created mortgages, they were only for 5 and 10 years. The 30-year mortgage didn't come out till like the late 40s.
But why do they want to get their interest up front?
Correct.
They also wanted other people that didn't have the cash flow to own a house to be able to stretch it out 30 years, so then they could get a loan.
Mark, stretching it out 30 years, they could still do that. I mean,
the risk is higher at the beginning of default, so they want to make sure they're getting their money up front.
So, but they're getting money. But here's what's weird: they're getting money on interest on money that may not be due them if these people move in 5 or 10 years.
Well, but they're getting it all up front.
I get it, but do you get a refund of the unearned interest they got?
No.
See,
not in a standard mortgage, no.
No, and that's where, why are we doing it? There's no benefit to the borrower at all, is there? Or does it give them a better buying ability? I don't see where it gives them better buying.
The benefit that most people will tell you about a 30-year mortgage is the rate's fixed. I know what my payment is every month, and that's great. That's perfect. But that was back in my opinion, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. We look at our home completely different. People say own your home so they can never take it from you. Well, that's because in the Great Depression, they had an on-demand feature. Whether you were on time or not.
And you don't have that now.
That's gone, so that's not going to happen. But when you're sitting with $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 worth of equity, if you had that much cash, would you put it in the bank, put it in a pillow? The way we look at our mortgage is actually hurting us more than helping us. We should be able to take advantage of that equity.
No, I understand that, but I think anybody, when you get a mortgage, it's insane. When you get a mortgage and you're going to live there 10 years, you're not really buying your house. You're paying interest only.
Correct.
I mean, you essentially owe the same at the end of 10 years. So what I don't understand is the interest you're paying. If you calculate it for 10 years, not 30, the interest you paid in for that first 10 years is way more than the APR.
72% of what you're going to pay for the full.
Yeah. So you're paying way more.
Two-thirds.
So when you move after 10 years, it's stupid to have an amortized loan. Anyone in the world who is not going to be in their home more than 15 years should never have an amortized loan. Never. Why would they?
Because the banks have convinced the people that this is the best loan, the most secure.
People think about this. Wally, what's your question?
Well, we're getting ready to probably enter into much higher interest rates. So for the guy that can't put $100,000 in the bank against the principal to keep it liquid, what do what's going to happen when the interest rates start to go up?
That's hold on. That's a great question. In other words, let's just say you want it as a loan. What will the rates do compared to the market? Hold on. Sal, you hold on. Jim, we'll come back to all of your calls.
That's a good question. Take worst case scenario. It's tied to the LIBOR, is it?
Not anymore. It's 1-year T-bills.
Then let's talk about it. What will T-bills do and what will other things do and why is it better? Will it go back down or does it ratchet up? All of this.
Sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
But Mark, amortized loans, Mark has if we could get investors, I'm serious, that are satisfied with making, let's say, Mark, 3 or 4% on money.
It'd be more than that, but yeah.
Why would it be on simple interest? Why would you charge more than that? You can't. You would never get anybody to do it.
It'd be all cash flow. They're not looking at, they're not paying any principal. They get to own a house, even though they own like none of it. And they get to live there cheap as fuck.
It's still less interest in 10 years than you would pay in an amortized loan, even if you doubled or tripled the rate.
Yeah, but more importantly, what I'm saying is...
No, you're right.
Their cost to live there is way lower. They're not paying any principal.
And best of all,
it's not only lower, it's lower interest too, even though it's a higher rate, because in 10 years, you're paying 72% of the fucking interest on that entire loan.
Yeah.
Okay. Genesis
Total Exteriors. I know Mark Szymanski, and I can refer you to him because he will do your storm damage no matter what it is, inside or out. And no matter what it is on the outside, roofing, gutters, painting, fences, decks, windows, doors, outbuildings, or anything inside, ceilings, foundation, walls, whatever, basements. He'll do all your storm damage under one invoice, dealing with your insurance company. And, of course, if you want a public adjuster, that's good too. But Genesis will be your sole source for everything, and that's what I love about him. Genesis Total Exteriors. Now, if you're doing home improvements, same thing. They do everything. GenesisTotalExteriors.com. Of course, Genesis also does solar. Hey, call them. 303-679-8509, 679-8509. Hey, Blake Harris Law has a phone number I'm going to give you, and you can call it to ask free questions about estate planning. Do I need a will? What kind of a will? Do I need a trust? What will the trust do for me? What can I do to protect me from lawsuits? What can I do to protect my heirs the rest of their lives, even after I pass? All of this, BlakeHarrisLaw.com, 833-ASK-BLAKE. That's 833-ASK-BLAKE.
You're in.
Here, let's do this real quick. How much did you say? 100,000 is 375 a month, right? Kurt?
100,000 is 375.
Yep.
Based on what interest?
4.5. Just divide it out. It's 4.5 by 12 is 375.
Fuck you. I can't do that. I can if I think about it.
Yeah, but I do it all the time.
And what are most compounded? What are they compounded on a 30-year? Monthly, daily, weekly, what?
Monthly. Same thing as a simple interest. It actually has the same numbers if you run the numbers, but the difference is you're forced to pay that one with the liquid. You're not.
Spam, Chris.
Blue, and if you pay more, you can't reach it.
This is John Campbell. I'm looking for Doc.
You got it.
If you
Hold
pay
on.
simple
How you
interest,
doing, Doc?
Huh? Good. Hey, I keep trying to get Blue Sky, and they haven't returned my
on
call.
a 30-year loan,
Oh, okay.
So I'll try them again after
and then
the
at
show.
the 30th year, pay off the balance.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to see if there was any type of...
No, they're, okay.
Hold on. I want to ask
Really
this,
get in
Mark.
touch
This
with
is
them, I'll let
telling.
you know.
If you paid simple interest on a 30-year loan, year 30, last payment, you pay off the principal. Or you amortize it for 30 years and just made all of your payments, where would you pay more interest? Would they be exactly the same?
Should be pretty close to exactly the same.
Okay, so the only difference with amortizing is that you're paying it up front.
Yes.
So it's logical then, if you're not going to fucking stay in it for 30 years, don't do it.
Well, see, you brought up a point. 72% of the people will refinance or sell their home within 6 years.
Yes.
That's why the banks like it so much, because they get to restart that cycle
It's the
over.
biggest ripoff in the world. No, it is. You're restarting. I don't care if you go back down, if you had a 20-year and you refinance and you start at 20 years. Or, Mark, even if you buy it down, right? Let's say you had 15 years left on your loan, Mark, or 10 years, and you refi keep it 10 years. Okay, you're still ripping yourself off because now you start over with the interest, paying nothing. Oh, my God, it's like an epiphany. Do you realize that, Mark? See, Mark, simple interest would only work for people keeping their house less than 12 years, I would say, right, Kurt?
Yeah, in most cases.
I think
But it's good for the retired people because, to be honest, they'll just pay it off. If you're over 60, you're just going to own it, and then you have that line of credit for emergencies. Like mine, I got
No, I'm not talking about your
$500,000.
simple interest. I'm talking about a simple interest. No line of credit.
Correct.
Just a simple interest.
Yes.
If we did something like that, what could you charge a month? What rate could you charge?
5 to 7.
Yeah.
5 for 7. That's a good return on solid real estate money.
Yeah.
That's a good return.
Well, if a T-bill is 1% and you're charging 5%, you're making 4% on your money every month.
How do you?
Because you borrow the money, like the Fed's fund.
Oh, you don't fund your own
You
money.
don't fund your own. You just borrow it. That's what the government does.
But
They'll
can
loan
you
it
do?
to
Well,
you.
hold on. They'll only loan it to me though if I do the loan package the way they want it.
No, you can find a bank. The Fed's fund rate is at 1/4, and that's where banks.
Why wouldn't we? And I'm serious, Kurt. You're forward thinking. Why wouldn't we start a simple interest mortgage company for those having their home and show people where if you don't stay in that home, a regular loan will fuck you.
Yes.
Why wouldn't we start that if we can borrow the
All
money?
you gotta do is figure out a place where to borrow money.
And I'm not
1%
kidding, Mark.
2%
That was a
charge
brilliant
5%.
idea, by the way. It was a brilliant idea. I'd like to take credit for that from here on out because he's not.
let's do it.
And health.
Why? You know, it's not hard to convince someone to do it if you're not going to be in your home that long.
And their cash flow's better.
You got a financial company. They can find you the investment.
Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Let's get to the phones. Brett, 30-year loans. You have a comment? Go ahead. I'm Tom Martino.
Yes, I do, Tom. I think you're off on your 30-year amortization. 30-year loan is perfectly fair. The alternative would be to, let's say you had a $360,000 loan. You could pay down $1,000 a month on a 30-year loan plus interest, which would put you at a much higher payment than the 30-year amortization would do. The purpose of the 30-year amortization is to provide you an equal payment over the 30 years, which is lesser to start with, and then would be a higher payment than what you would have at the end of the loan.
Brett, I believe that. That's not what I'm saying. I think I didn't portray myself accurately. Here's what I meant. If you get a 30-year loan or a 15-year, and you're going to be in your house, well, let's say 30. If you get a 30-year loan and you're going to be in your house in 10 years or less, you're paying mostly interest that you never recover. Okay? Never. You don't recover it.
That's correct.
Okay. Now, if you did simple interest for those 10 years and pay interest only, you know, the point is that at least you have the chance, you have the money you're saving every single month is worth the cash flow to do it. Why would anyone turn down a simple interest loan if you're going to be in your home 10 years or less?
So you're saying simple interest is paid interest-only loan?
That's right. I'm sorry. That's what I meant. Interest only. Sorry. Yes, Brett.
Right. Well, that is another choice if you have a good use for your money.
But not only a good use for my money, how about food? I mean, we're talking about cash flow. How about just being able to buy a home? If someone is going to be in a house 10 years or less, interest only will never hurt them. In fact, I could make the argument that more than 10 years could help them because their house is appreciating, but they're not paying nonsense principal, and their payment is not higher. It's a low payment that they can live with. And that's the whole idea. Cash flow is everything nowadays with people. It really is. And right now, a 30-year amortization might give people some cash flow having an even payment. But if they stay there only 10 or 15 years, they will never recoup that money. I mean, and then when they refi, they're starting the clock all over again.
Well, they have reduced the amount they're paying interest. Value has been taken down in the high.
Brett, I'm asking you, do you feel a 30-year amortized loan is more fair to the bank or to the borrower? Now, if the borrower stays there 30 years, it's exactly the same as simple interest over 30 years, paying off the principal at the end. It's the same. But if you're not staying there 30 years, is that a fair loan?
It depends, Tom. I guess if you're making principal payments, you're saving yourself paying interest on that amount of principal. So if you had an 8% loan, by paying down principal through a bigger payment, you're
the whole idea is, though, that impedes your cash flow. What I'm getting at is, if the true meaning of buying a house for 10 years is nothing because you're not going to own any substantial part of it, there would be no reason to make extra principal payments at all because you're going to sell it. And the only thing that matters is you can afford it. And you can afford it way better if you're paying interest only on that money for that 10 years. I can't see where you can be hurt. I mean, you know.
Yeah, and I would say, Tom, the only argument there would be possibly that when you get interest-only loans, you end up paying a higher rate than you do on an amortized loan.
Well, yeah, but if it's interest only, you're not paying as much interest. It might be a higher rate if you do, but you're not going to pay as much interest, Kurt.
Okay,
Wally had that good question, damn it, and he hung up. Okay, go ahead.
If you're looking at, let's take a $100,000 loan at 3 1/4. That's a payment of $1,305. That same loan at $100,000 or $300,000 is $1,025 on the all-in-one, the interest only. If you still pay the $1,305, you have an extra $280 going to principal, which is lowering.
You can still pay that. You can still pay a higher payment,
pay
but
the
it makes
30
more of it. Makes more of an impact. Okay, he had a great question. I want to answer it. I hope he's still listening. He asked, "What if you take out that loan, the liquid loan, but you have no money against it in a bank account to buy down the interest, and you're simply paying the interest, the simple interest over, let's say, the time?"
Okay, it won't work, but
it won't work. Why?
Because you're not paying what you're paying here. That's the point I was just making. When you're converting the loan over from a fixed, you have a payment. We don't ask you to change that payment, but because it's an interest only, the payment over here is going to be less. So you got more money going to principal, and every month as the
so it will be better, even if you have no money offsetting it.
Correct. It will always work because you
in other words, because you can pay as much principal as you want anytime you want.
Correct.
And if you don't, you simply pay the interest.
And you're okay with that to handle the speed bumps of life.
So in other words, even if you don't have a bunch of money in the bank buying down the balance or accrediting you interest, you still get to pay it better.
Correct. Yeah, and the numbers will verify that. If you go back to 2008, 7 million people foreclosed, and they had 32% equity in their house. If they'd have been able to tap that equity, they wouldn't have lost their house.
Jim, what is your comment on the liquid loan?
I just wanted to give Kurt some kudos. We closed on our loan last week, and it went really well.
And you're going to absolutely love it. And the trick is, if you want to own your home, you can. Quickly. If you don't want to, you can simply do cash flow. It's all up to you.
Yep.
Man, that's great. Thanks, you very much. We got more coming up.
We're not asking you just make the interest only. Make safe payments. It still works.
What's that? I know.
It just works.
Because you have the ability to pay that extra payment anytime you want.
Down, and your payment goes down. When your payment goes down, that's more money to go to principal, which drives it down, and it just speeds itself.
Why would anyone do a fucking amortized loan?
Well, it depends on the interest rate, though. That's the one thing I would say. Well, at some point, if the interest rate on that's 15%, it makes no sense.
I had a guy yesterday, he's 2.25 on the VA. He says, there's no way you could beat it. I said, yeah, I can pay it off in 18 years, and you don't change the payment. He said, how in the world does that work?
On cash flow.
Yeah. Simply because of the payments he's got.
Keep the payment the same.
Works. You couldn't believe it.
What if you ever get in trouble and can't?
Look, supporter says he was addicted to Trump. Now calls movement a cult.
Oh, God. Special report.
Oh, Lord. Tell me that guy doesn't look like a nut.
Bullshit. Mark, let's talk about Paragon Services.
Well, I'll tell you this, man. $70,000 is what Matt put in my pocket. He's the owner of Paragon Services. Here's what happened. I had a hailstorm. All my neighbors a few months later are getting new roofs. I called my insurance company. They come out and they said, Mr. Major, you have no damage. So I called Matt at Paragon Services. Then a few months go by, bam, $70,000. You can't beat that. Here's the bottom line. If you're dealing with a commercial policy, and God help you, if you're dealing with those fires up there, you're dealing with your insurance company. You need someone on your side. Call Matt at Paragon Services. You know what? Just find them on referrallist.com. That's referrallist.com.
Man, I am happy to tell you about the only realtor that made the cut for Team Dave.
I mean, I feel like, why would anyone tout an amortized loan? I can't fucking, if you look at a chart on how much comes out of your pocket
and how fast it comes out. If it was amortized evenly, I don't think it would really fucking matter.
What if they did? What if you did? Hold it, Mark. What if you did an interest only with the option to buy down the option to buy down the principal too? I mean, you both.
But that's already there. Every second mortgage out there that's a HELOC works exactly that way. But the banks won't tell you that. They separate the checking account from the mortgage. This loan puts the two together, which makes it automatic. They separate it, and they don't tell the people that if you put the money in the checking and roll it, it has the same effect.
This
Because
might
they don't
doesn't
want
work.
you to pay it.
Doesn't? That sucks. Someone emailed screenshots of his red scrolling banners. I don't understand the question, saying, is this
His
the
red-
real scoop? So I
His
sent
red
it to you.
what?
I don't know, something Talib's putting up.
No, it's.
I sent them to you. It's like 3 pictures that they sent.
What is he putting up?
I don't know.
What are they talking about?
They're talking about me scrolling some of these comments.
Oh, online.
On the banner.
Oh.
Yeah.
So people can read our comments live?
Well, not ours, but some of theirs.
But can't they read them anyway?
Well, if they're on Facebook, if they're on YouTube, everybody that listens to YouTube, everybody that listens to YouTube doesn't click into the chat.
But does that take away from the banners when you do that?
Well, we're mixing metaphors here. Mark was talking about these banners here not being there. Okay.
I understand.
All right.
But when you add these to the frame.
No, what we're talking, I'll show you. Where's it? Why am I being treated poorly now by this thing?
What shot?
That's basically of you sitting right in this chair.
Oh, yeah. It's called, you might like this. It's called Whirlpool. Have you ever heard of it?
Oh, yeah. I have.
Whirlpool? Yeah. So that's what I'm doing.
Insensitive. NPR warns of insensitive
The best thing
emotions.
to do, if you do, this is the best word to put in that first one. If you put in this, and your first word, you have 4 vowels. So you immediately know
this was primarily you.
It should be AD. If you put it in ADI,
then I come with the red banner.
you immediately know that
just goes across the
you eliminated 4 of the 5 vowels.
Oh,
So it's a great way to
What
start.
they're saying in here.
I get it. That's cool. I think that's cool. Anyway, what did that viewer want? To not have that?
No, they're asking is it.
So, they sold that to the Times for $200,000. So I told them, I'm working on a new game to sell to the Times.
I got it.
You pick a
I think it's almost impossibly hard.
You think what's
And you have to
impossible
have
is?
the same 5 words up and down.
Didn't he do that? But does the Times? Let me ask you something.
So, right, so it's, well, it's the same
But
5
Doc,
words.
let me ask you something.
Yeah, up and down.
Under the scenario if the Times did it,
Yeah,
would they start with 1 5-letter word that you have to find?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they would find 1 5-letter word.
Well, you give them a 5-letter word, and you see if they can get the other 4 words that make the perfect square.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
So the Times would give us the 5-letter word.
Right.
If we were in the Times, and then we'd have to solve it.
Right. So I'm gonna get a backlog.
Can it be done with a lot of 5-letter with
Yeah.
every 5-letter word?
Not everyone, but a lot of them. So if I get a backlog.
Get a backlog. That would be good. That would be good. That would be. If you had something, because otherwise.
I've been doing it for years. I just pick
Did
words.
you ever catalog those words?
No, but I pick a 5. When I'm bored or something, I pick a 5-letter word and see if I can do it. I've been doing that since college.
Pick poker.
Yeah, I can do poker.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Let's go to the phones, okay? And Dave, you have a comment or something. Go ahead, Dave, on liquid loan documentation and qualifications. Dave.
Yeah, what my question was if you have enough equity in your home, do you have to go through all the documentation as far as being self-employed, as far as proving income and all the...
Yeah, what are the qualifications? What are the qualifications?
Yes, it does work for self-employed people. They look at it completely different. If you have assets on the liquid loan, they will take your assets, divide them by 120 months, and count that as income.
Oh,
They're
really?
the only bank that will do that, and for self-employed people, that works out really well. But yes, you do have to go through the qualifications, and they're pretty basic. No bankruptcies, foreclosures, 700 credit score.
But I want to say this. That asset doesn't include that house.
No, it does not. Unless you have an asset manager and you have one in there, because you can have 2 of these.
But the bottom line is, they consider assets along with income, Dave, and 700 credit score. But as far as documentation of your income,
we're going to want your business tax returns, and we'll do a P&L showing them how it works, and they'll count it.
What about people who write a lot of stuff off? Will they look past that?
They'll look at depending on what they write off and how they write it off. If you're writing off depreciation, they'll kick that back in. So there's some variables.
But if you're writing off something you're actually paying on, then you can't, right?
Then you can't. Yeah.
It sounds pretty good to me, Dave. You ought to look into it.
Would they look at like I own one house free and clear, and I'm building another one that will be done in a few months. That's also I paid for everything as I go. Would they look at the two houses, or would they look at just the personal? I mean, credit's all fine, everything's fine, other than.
Would that be considered one of his assets to use?
There's a way I can make that work. I've learned to work around on that. So I may be able to help you with that, but I don't know. I can't answer 100% now because I don't know all the specifics.
Sure.
But there's ways to maybe make that work.
I'll be giving you a call.
Yeah, it's aimmortgage.net or 720-895-0500. 720-895-0500. Let's talk to Dante. Dante, what's happening?
How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. What's happening with you?
Well, I don't know if this is something that I can do for a friend. I moved a friend in their home last weekend.
Now, when you say you moved him in, where'd you move him in? To their home or into yours?
Into a private home that's owned by some other person.
Okay, got it. Move friend into a home. Were they going to rent a room?
No, they're renting the whole house.
Oh, okay. I get it.
So this is what the landlord texted her, that they were going to send some appraisers over to go into the house, take pictures with a video camera of all the rooms and this and that. Is that legal?
Well, yeah, most likely it is. Here's the general rule, and I'm surprised it's not mentioned. Do they have a lease?
Yes, they signed a lease for 15 months.
I get it. Usually in a lease, it specifies that the landlord can have limited access.
I lost you.
Okay, I'm here. Can you hear me, Dante? We're still here.
Yes, I can hear you now.
All right. In leases, most of the time, it spells out that landlords can have limited access for showing the property, appraising the property, or inspecting the property. I am almost positive it's in every lease. But if it's not in there, well, then technically they'd have to negotiate that with the tenant.
Okay. I'll have to ask her if it's in the lease.
You know, I haven't seen a lease. Normally what a landlord does is takes a standard lease and then makes their adjustments, but I've not seen one yet that doesn't have something about that.
Okay.
So what is she upset about?
That they're not fully settled. Stuff all over. You know, she's got two girls that go to school, and the husband and wife, they both work. So she's very upset that they're doing this on her day off, unannounced, only one day.
Well, I mean, even if it is in the lease, they can't just spring it on her. They have to be reasonable about it. So get a hold of the lease and let us have a copy. We can let our guy look at it and see what's going on. I'm Tom Martino. We have Kurt Rogers, Affordable Interest Mortgage, talking about the liquid loan and more. And your calls coming up, 303-713-TALK.
And right now, I know most of you, you're not facing a crime or a DUI, but you may in the future, or you may have a friend or a neighbor. It's something that happens. Joe Lazara charges flat rates. He's a nation offender of crime. You made a stupid mistake, falsely accused Joe. You did the deed. Call Joe. And Andy. Or people, 303-429-6200.
Do roller coaster stock markets make you nervous? With such frequent ups and downs, don't let market volatility derail your retirement. Hi, I'm Linda Gardner, host of Your Money, Your Retirement, Saturday on 630 KHOW. If you're concerned about the markets, call today to schedule a complimentary review of your portfolio. Call 720-488-8604. That's 720-488-8604. Or online, yourmoneyyourretirement.com.
KRFX HD2 Denver.
KHOW Denver, an iHeartRadio station. Available everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts. All in one.
ABC News, I'm Zachary Keach.
The trip from New York's LaGuardia Airport to Orlando was supposed to last a little over 3 hours, but about halfway in, a man accused a fellow passenger of sticking him with a needle to steal his DNA. Eventually, he was restrained. The flight was diverted to Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina, where the man was taken off by police. Frontier Flight 1335 finally made it to Orlando just before 11 last night. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
The Pacific island nation of Tonga is seeing COVID cases there nearly double for 2 days in a row. The virus arrived through aid ships after the island was rocked by a powerful undersea volcanic eruption. European royalty is not immune to COVID.
A Clarence House spokesperson saying Prince Charles has COVID again. Spain's King Felipe has also tested positive for COVID, and has Denmark's Queen. The two are only displaying mild symptoms. And as Delecatera, ABC News.
This is ABC News. Americans are paying more for just about everything due to supply chain issues driving up inflation. The Consumer Price Index jumping 7.5% to its highest rate since 1982. Diane Swonk, chief economist at Graham Thornton, tells ABC News, even though many are seeing raises or have saved stimulus money, it's going fast.
It's great if you get a wage gain, but if it gets completely canceled out by the basics of
And I guess my question is, how can I have
your
that
rent
on my Facebook?
and your commute costs
Can I do
no
that?
longer
Can I tap
can
in?
absorb
You
that
guys
shock.
are wanting to show it's on my way to do that.
When we're streaming here, you want to stream
I
also.
want to take what you're streaming and put it into my system, because then I can advertise that on my website.
Later today, the president is expected to meet with Senate Judiciary Committee
I don't know if it can be done.
I'm thinking about it.
the Supreme Court
We're
nomination
saying it,
process.
yeah, we're saying it.
ABC News.
Or if it's recorded, can I grab it?
Yes.
So I go to YouTube and
That
grab it
can
and
be
they just put it
done.
on there.
Yeah, that can be done. I was going to send you the links to it, and then I'll send you the links to it live. Okay, and then there's the whole YouTube library of all of them.
Pick out mine and put them on my.
Let's do so. Fewer
And put them on my Facebook, say, check me out today.
Non-professional. It's clean.
And it's
Upgrade.
just this show.
From P&G Professional.
But it's the whole, but it's the whole show and all the noise that goes on in here too.
That's fine.
Okay.
I don't mind that.
For false negative readings.
Branding.
COVID strands are on the rise,
Mm.
and
Yeah, it is, definitely.
manufacturers are being irresponsible at a time when accuracy matters most. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. Don't wait. Switch to Exergen because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
KHOW News Time, 103. The clerk and recorder from Mesa County is facing arrest after a confrontation with police officers in Grand Junction. An arrest warrant for Tina Peters was issued yesterday. The warrant states that Peters obstructed police officers in a Grand Junction bagel shop Tuesday as they executed a search warrant for a laptop. Peters reportedly used the device to record part of a court hearing on Monday.
895-0500. That's your mobile.
Restaurants across the state are still facing harsh conditions related to the pandemic. Sonia Riggs with the Colorado Restaurant Association says there are other factors as well.
Costs are going up at the same time. The average restaurant is in debt. $180,000 from the pandemic.
Recent survey showed more than half of restaurant owners responding said they would consider a permanent closure within the next year.
I do have to thank you
Another
again
In-N-Out
for John.
Burger is opening in Colorado in Thornton. It's their 6th Colorado restaurant. The new location will employ about 80 workers starting at $17 an hour. That's the latest. I'm Chuck Clark.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm.
The usual volume flowing on 270 through Commerce City. I-25 and I-70 both moving at or near posted speed through town. Out to the west, the exit from eastbound I-70 on the Stanley Road from Idaho Springs is closed. That's because of a stalled semi. And road work on Highway 6 through Clear Creek Canyon just east of Tunnel 1, causing some slowing through there. Lots 31 pinpoint weather clouds decreasing this afternoon.
The top link is the YouTube, and the bottom link is the Facebook. They are both live, and the YouTube is actually now part of the Troubleshooter Network's body of links. So you can just grab the link and use it anytime you want.
It's just I'm not good.
Yeah.
I don't need to be. I just have to hire people to do it.
All the time.
Mornings at 6. The Situation.
Not my strength.
Prosecution self-decline policies. Congressman Timmons said she wants construction roundtables. How dumb can you be?
I wonder what else you can do with it.
Denver's Talk
I'll
Station
give it
is
to them. I'll figure it out.
Callers, just enter this nationwide keyword on our website.
How is that?
That's thanks. Enter it now at KHEL.com. Keep listening to it with a 12K a day giveaway. This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hey, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the only show of its kind anywhere in the universe. We have an update on a very important case. This is where we solve problems, answer questions, and take complaints. And I ask you to call us at 303-713-TALK. 713-8255. Now, I'm asking you to call if you have a problem, a question, or a complaint, or something bugging you. You know, so many times I hear people talking. We see people on Nextdoor. We see all kinds of stuff happening where people are just confused, frustrated, upset, and they don't know where to go. This is the place to go because we have people that actually delve into your problems and try to look for a solution. Speaking of such, Sandy, who couldn't be on the phone today, but she purchased a piece of heavy equipment from Four Rivers Equipment, paid in full $113,000. The equipment was delivered a month later. Now, after examining that equipment, it was not as represented. It had 122 hours on it, and it was represented as having 26 hours. So, what had happened? Four Rivers had rented it out during that month. Now, think about this. They sell a piece of equipment with 26 hours on it. They rent it out, and they deliver it with 122 hours. Now, Four Rivers' explanation is they owned it until they delivered it. That could be, all right? Let's say that's true. Shouldn't there be some adjustment because it was represented with 26 hours and delivered with 122 hours? We finally got settlement. Now, Mark said, Sandy said, Tom, call off the dogs. We have a settlement in process. They're doing everything we expect. Now, Sandy had mentioned she'd be happy with a like machine with less hours or some kind of financial adjustment. So we can only assume, since Sandy is happy, that Four Rivers Equipment is coming through, and we're going to add that to our total eventually, where we recover hundreds of millions of dollars over my past career in cash, merchandise, exchanges, refunds, and services. So if you want to be in on this and you have a problem, maybe something's bugging you, give us a chance. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Meanwhile, we often have guests in to talk about different topics. And I became fascinated with mortgages recently when I started calculating interest costs. When you buy a home and you get a normal amortized loan, it's normal. Everybody does them. That amortized loan sets out a schedule of payments over a 15 or 30-year period. And over that time, every month, if you look at the line, it'll show you how much is going to interest and how much is going to principal. Now think about that. Because for the first 15 years, you're paying mostly interest. In fact, in the first few years, you pay hardly any principal whatsoever. But we've always accepted it because houses appreciate in value, so we don't get hurt. And we figure, what the hell, we have a home. But think about what simple interest does. Kurt has what's called the liquid loan, which is a simple interest loan. And you pay simple interest. Now, let's not talk about the bank part of it yet. I'm going to bring that up later. But let's just take a simple interest loan. What does it mean? It means that interest is calculated on the outstanding balance, right?
On a monthly basis, correct.
Okay. And all you pay is interest.
Correct.
So your cash flow is going to be immediately less than it would be on an amortized loan.
Yes.
Now, even if the interest rate is a little higher,
yes,
your cash flow is better.
Yes.
Now, even on an interest rate that's a little bit higher, when you have a lower payment and you choose to make that payment equal to an amortized payment,
correct,
you're going to be paying more interest from day one. More principal from day one.
Correct.
More principal from day one.
Correct.
So if you kept the level payment of an amortized loan, it would still be better than an amortized loan.
And the reason is, as your payoff goes down with simple interest, your payment goes down. So if your interest payment is $300 one month, it might go to $290 the next month, and then $270.
But you're paying more and more immediately. Immediately, you're paying off a ton more principal and will own your house faster. Always. Always. Now, add the component of bank account money. I'm not talking about high yield money. I'm talking about bank account money we keep in the bank for paying bills. Just keeping that in your bank account with the same bank buys down the mortgage balance. It's not paying off that balance, but it's giving you credit for the money there, and it applies against your interest. You're paying even more principal if you want. Or, if you want, you can pay interest only.
Correct.
You have the total choice to do what you want. I can't think of a reason why someone would not have a loan like this. I can't think of one reason.
The only reason it would hurt this loan is if you're not financially disciplined and you keep spending all your money.
Oh, that's true.
That's the one that will hurt you.
Yeah, and you don't pay anything.
Take the money out all the time.
If you just keep taking money out, and then paying minimum payment, of course.
Yeah.
Hey, but that hurts everyone, even with credit cards. Jeff, what's going on with you and your Ram?
Hi, so I bought a Ram truck in September, a 2021 TRX.
Oh, it's a new one. It's a new one. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Well,
cool.
I bought it used.
Oh, how many miles on it?
Well, when I bought it, I had it at 9,000, and now I'm at 19.
Okay, so you bought it with 19,000. Oh, I'm
9,000.
I'm sorry, 9. Okay, got it. Okay, so what's the problem?
So in November, I had a check engine light come on. I went to the dealership, and they said that I need my exhaust manifold replaced because there's a leak. I'm like, all right, and then they expected the part mid-December.
Now, hold on. This was under warranty, obviously, right? Even though you bought it used?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, and it's under the manufacturer's warranty.
Correct.
Okay, and why did you ever wonder why it had that leak?
Yeah, I mean, it's the first generation of the TRX, so where they put the Hellcat engine in the Ram.
Wow.
I'm sure there's some things they're still figuring out, and the Hellcat engine is kind of known for exhaust leaks every now and then.
Okay. So what's going on now?
So,
are they not fixing it?
I find the part, and when I brought it in, I was like, "Can I continue to drive it?" And they're like, "Yeah, no problem. It won't hurt the truck." And then you start to get an exhaust smell, and so I brought that back to their attention.
Wait a minute.
And they're like,
hold on. They were waiting for parts, and you said, "Can I drive it in the meantime?"
Correct.
And they said it shouldn't harm the truck.
Yeah, they said it wouldn't.
Okay.
But then when the part was supposed to come in December and it didn't, I let them know that I'm starting to get an exhaust smell in the cabin. And it gets pretty bad when I'm like at a stoplight. And they're like, "Oh, well, that's fine. Just turn off the recirculation and you can continue driving it."
What do they mean turn off recirculation? What is that?
On the vents.
So, like, if you have your vents on.
Oh, got it. Okay, yeah.
So, anyways, what I ended up doing is I called Ram Care about it, and that's like Fiat Chrysler's big customer service, and let them know. And they also were like, no, just keep driving and you'll be fine. And like basically they told me to open the window if you smell it.
When did they say the part would be in?
So the part was on national back order, and the first update was mid-December. Mid-December rolled around, and then they still hadn't came in, so that's when I filed the clause with Ram Care. And then they're like, all right, well, we'll expedite it. And then it was supposed to come in early January, mid-January. And that came around mid-January, early February. Now we're early February, mid-February. Now we're at mid-February, early March, subject to change.
Golly.
And so my problem is I ended up filing a buyback claim, which was denied. But I was told to file one, so it starts to keep track of it in case there are more issues down the road. But the exhaust smell gets pretty bad sometimes, and I let them know.
Well, how long, seriously, how long do you think you're going to have to wait?
I don't know, but it feels like maybe June or August because it just keeps getting pushed back. Like, I don't know.
Holy crap.
I asked them if I could buy an aftermarket part.
Does it inhibit your performance?
Not that I've noticed.
And does it and does it inhibit the drivability at all in any way other than the smell?
Not that I can tell.
So it's not hurting the engine, and you're driving it. The smell sucks. Other than that, I'm not trying to minimize this, but other than that, we don't have any serious problems. So that's
right.
So what do you want?
Well,
would you really want out of this? Would you want out of this truck? Because even in a normal buypack, you would be responsible for that 10 grand miles you put on there.
I mean, no, I like the truck. Like, that's the last thing I want to do.
Okay.
The whole point of the buyback was I'm hoping that they would just try to expedite it.
Oh, you feel like if they think you're pissed off, they would try to get you a part pronto.
Right. And, well, the problem is the more, so like I was reading about it, the exhaust leaks, and majority of the time, it depends where the leak is, they don't cause damage. But if there's an exhaust leak next to the exhaust manifold on the engine, cold air can seep in and it can actually damage valves, the hot valves. So now I'm concerned that there is slight, because it is right in the exhaust manifold, because that's why I smell it coming through the vents. And they keep saying that it won't be an issue, and I keep trusting them. And I don't know if I should have it inspected once, the part comes to see if there was damage that caused by it.
Of course you should. Of course you should. But how are they going to know? Like, you're afraid it might burn the valve or damage. How will it damage the valve? Let's figure this out. If cold air comes in, and what are you thinking would happen?
So, I mean, think about, like, the valve is, I don't know, I'm making up numbers, but let's say it's at like 300 degrees, and you shut off the engine, and it's, 12 degrees outside. That cold air is now sitting on it, just stressing out the metal, causing it to contract real quick.
Do we let's call one of our experts, okay, and talk about that first. Let's talk. Hold on a sec, because you're bringing up a bunch of good points, okay? Hang on.
Boston 30.
Watching TaxSlayer calculate your refund feels like climbing to the apex of a roller coaster.
Suze, do we ever have a need for lines 9, 10, 11, and 12 on the call screener? I'm asking for a reason, because I wanted to push stuff up I could see easier. So I could eliminate 9, 10, 11, 12.
File for free with TaxSlayer Super Free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. Free market valuations of your home. I've told you about those complimentary valuations to tell you what your house will sell for. And right now, that's an important thing. Not the appraisal, not what online sites say, but what it will sell for based on real experience. Like Frank Duran, who sells more homes in a month than most sell in a year. And in a year, he sells more than most sell in a career. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622. Hey, become the banker is an expression. It's a strategy. What is it? It's overfunding life insurance. Why would you do that? Well, life insurance is good to have, right? But that's not the main purpose here. The main purpose is to overfund it. Did you know the government allows you to keep that extra money over the premium as cash value, and it lets it grow tax-free? Now, they'll show you how to get the money out tax-free. That means never paying tax on that growth. And the way they do it is through a series of loans that you pay back, by the way, on purpose with more interest, sheltering more money. The end result is to have a nest egg for retirement in which you never take as income and never pay tax on it. You just get to use the money. BecomeTheBanker.org. And you can find out more about this plus an annuity at mymoneymyway.com. Now, speaking of money and speaking of real estate and all this stuff, everything should be part of an estate plan. Do you have one? If not, BlakeHarrisLaw.com will be happy to talk to you. In fact, he'll answer your questions free of charge. 833-ASK-BLAKE. 833-ASK-BLAKE. Yes, he will. He'll talk to you and make recommendations, whether it be a will or a trust or anything else in between. He doesn't charge you for any of the answers. He only gives you flat rates for what you have done. So call him and get your estate plan in order. BlakeHarrisLaw.com, 833-ASK-BLAKE. I'm consumer advocate.
I have 3 of those things.
So it would
my
be.
employer. My employees, I pay for it.
Cool. You still have it. Oh, yeah. Is it growing?
Yes, it is.
Sorry, Kurt, pardon me.
It's okay.
I have never used 9, 10, 11, 12. Ever. So now watch you delete them and we need them for some weird reason.
You know what? I always think you could always write notes there or have like some multiple lines.
I have a referral list member texting, can you overfund the liquid loan and do you get a debit card checks to use?
Debit card checks to use, overfunding it to the point it's paid off is all you can do.
Okay.
You can't pay it down past 0.
Okay.
You wake up ready for anything. Good quality sleep is life-changing sleep.
It is the fastest growing loan in the country right now.
Are there a lot of people doing them?
CMG is starting to get serious about it, but yeah, there's a lot of people.
You're going through CMG?
That's the only place that offers it right now.
Not
Macquarie doesn't offer it anymore.
Okay.
If they ever came out with competition to it, which once they get it securitized on Wall Street to where they can sell it, somebody else will jump in the game.
Now, should you pick up other areas, or?
I'm already in Arizona. I'm working on Utah, Wyoming, and Nebraska. Getting licensed there to do the exact same thing again. Only on that loan. That loan opens the doors for everything else I need to do because nobody else is doing it there. So I'm a new boy on the block. And it works.
Did you get that trademark?
No.
We got to do that.
Yeah,
we can prove we've been using it. I can contact my guy.
Yeah, having it with me.
About $1,000.
Having it with me and we'll get it started and get a trademark. That's fine. Because
I think that would be a smart thing to do.
With what
Research shows people remember radio ads that remind them of the past. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual Insurance Company.
For what you need, here's an ad that'll really take you back. Back in my day, I love that game. Fucking love it.
Kind of sounds like
Yeah, it's great.
Well, I know when people call and they ask, well, I want to talk about the liquid loan. I don't have to ask them where they heard about it. I know where it comes from. I had people in the office today that were doing the loan. Listened to the show, came in, wanted to talk to me.
Let me ask you a question. Do that again. If I were an asshole, I went home tonight, after the show, and trademarked liquid loan. Could I do that?
Offered to fix the holes in your walls.
Got leaks? Repipe Specialists will repipe your house in 1 or 2 days and offer to fix the drywall. Call 303-228-2910 for a free in-home estimate and pay nothing down and no payments or interest for a year. That's 303-228-2910 or visit repipe.com.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com.
Warming things up for your Thursday. Temperatures today up near 60 degrees. We'll see a little bit of a breeze, but mostly sunny skies should make for a pretty good day. I'm Fox 31 Pinpoint Weather Team meteorologist Kylie Verse.
Hiring can be a headache. That's why there's Indeed, the hiring platform that removes the hassle. Sponsor a job and immediately get a short list of quality candidates. And you can schedule and conduct video interviews right on their site. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. What does Norris want to talk about, Suze? Does he want to talk about this truck?
I called him about
Good.
the truck.
Norris, thank you. SOS Inspections or usedcarcheckout.com. Jeff bought a truck. It's got the Hellcat engine in it, but he said there's a problem with exhaust leaks. They're having a problem getting parts to fix it. They told him to drive it. It wouldn't do any harm. What do you think? He's driving it with an exhaust leak and there's a smell.
Where is the exhaust leak? Have they identified the location?
Jeff?
They have not. They basically, so I went to, the dealership, and I mean, I basically think they said it's one of these issues and all it has to do with the exhaust manifold, but they don't know where. They didn't really spend time figuring out where. So
it's in the engine compartment.
Under warranty.
Yes. Well, wait. If there's an exhaust leak and they can't figure out where, how do they know they have the right part on order? I don't even get that. They have parts on order. They say, we can't get parts. How do they know what they need?
They might be doing
the code associated.
What, Jeff?
The check engine code is associated with exhaust leaks or a bad O2 sensor in the exhaust manifold.
But how do they know which is it? How do they know if there's a crack? How do they know if it's a bad stud? How do they know if it's not
they're
sensor?
All of it.
What?
They're replacing everything on it.
Oh, okay. So go ahead,
They're
Norris.
replacing the gaskets.
If you have a bad manifold, exhaust manifold, can that damage your truck?
No, it's not going to damage your truck, but it could put you to sleep while you're driving.
That's
carbon monoxide is no joke.
You ought to get a. Do you have those little detector tabs they sell, or the little alarms?
I do actually. I can get one put in there.
Have you ever? Okay, because there are little ones you can put right on the dash.
I mean, I know I'm getting CO in there because what actually led up to the buyback claim was, I got a wicked headache driving to work one day, and you could just smell the gas, and that's carbon monoxide poisoning is a sign of it.
Exhaust fumes, you can't really smell carbon monoxide, but the exhaust fumes,
right,
it's no joke. The Ford Explorer had some problems like that too, and that led to a nationwide recall. It was causing police in Florida to fall asleep on the job and wreck their vehicles. That's no joke. No, it won't hurt the car, but it will hurt you.
Right. So eventually, after I filed the claim and everything, the manager said he would for me to go get a rental and they would expense it back. The problem is they'd only expense $50 a day. And really right now to find any, even a really small SUV, you're looking at least $60 at $75 after fees.
You know what? I don't understand why they're having a problem finding this stuff, because online you can find the entire exhaust manifold package for the Hellcat. Do you have the 5.7?
No, it's the 6.2. So
okay, here are 6.2s. Here are 6.2s. And I'm wondering why they can't find them if I can find them.
And so that was my other solution. I was going to ask if I could just replace it with an aftermarket part, and they would still put a note in where they would honor the warranty. And they refused to do that.
No, that's not going to happen.
What kind is it? Who's the OEM on that?
Mopar.
Okay, I'm looking at Mopar here. At least it says it's Mopar.
So there's the Hellcat for the actual Hellcat Dodge car, and then the Ram TRX is a slightly larger manifold than those.
Okay. Jeez. Have you tried... you don't have to go to that one Dodge dealer. Have you tried others?
Yeah, I went to Christopher's Dodge, and they were actually helpful too, but he said the same thing. He can get me some of the stuff, but he can't get everything, and until they can get everything, they won't authorize the warranty.
Have you called other places? Have you called any places that might be able to get you a loaner?
No, those are the only two. Larry H. Miller in Westminster, and then the one in Golden.
Hey, Tom.
The only two I've tried.
I don't know if this was mentioned because I was on the phone, but what about an aftermarket?
He just mentioned.
Oh, okay.
He said they'll void the warranty. So,
that's what I thought.
Hey, Jeff, how about this? Instead of talking to them about a buyback, which sounds a lot like a lemon. What if you just said to them, look, you know that this truck is going to be worth something when you get the parts. So instead of making me wait for the parts, how about giving me a full reimbursement on a trade for another one?
Okay, I could try that.
No, I'm serious. You're not challenging them saying, this is a lemon, I demand a buyback. Don't call it a buyback. Say, give me a generous trade-in. You guys keep this, fix it, and sell it at full price. But then that eliminates... What's that?
That's a really good plan, Tom, because the car can't be driven with an exhaust leak in it like that. It's unsafe.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, that was the other thing. I don't know if you mentioned to him, Tom, but they're telling me that it's totally fine to drive, just not to turn it on to the recirculation.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
Well, it is
That's
fine to drive. Just don't breathe.
Easy enough.
So listen, man. Jeff, this is ridiculous. I would try to make a deal and say, look, I think I deserve this from Dodge. It won't cost the dealer really money. I mean, obviously, if they're getting way above sticker for the Dodge Rams, how are the Dodge Rams selling right now with that engine in it? Are they hot commodities?
Yeah, they're being marked up to the 125,000 right now. And they're hard to find.
They may not. Oh my goodness, they may. What would your truck be worth more now than it was?
So I've actually had it appraised, and it's slightly lower just because I've put 10,000 miles on it.
Well, are there any other used Dodge Ram TRXs on the lot?
So no, they're all. I haven't seen any on the lot. The only ones I've seen are the ones that are ordered, and then they sell them basically within 1 or 2 days, or someone trades one in and they're gone within 1 or 2 days.
And when they order them, they sell it above sticker?
Yeah, their markup is unreal right now.
Oh man. Norris, I don't see what the hell you can do. Is there a temporary fix for a manifold leak?
No.
So the other thing too is I can't get my Ram case manager to ever return my call or email me.
You know what we're going to do? Here's what we're going to do, Jeff. We have an expression here where they're really doing what they can, they say, and you're being good here. We have an expression called lighting a fire. You know that expression? We're going to light a fire?
Yes, sir.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take you, because you're not a complainer and a moaner, you're just trying to get some help. Deputy Doc, let's help this guy. Let's call them up and first start with the dealer. And we're not going to do this before the end of the show, but Deputy Doc will call you. Here's what we're going to do. We call the dealer, get in touch with the regional rep for Dodge, and say, what the hell is going on? This guy could drop dead in that truck. Are you crazy? Just get him his part. Now, you know damn well they have parts they're shipping, and they're not giving you a priority. Wouldn't you say that, Norris?
I would agree.
Even if they have to pull it off a used one. I mean, yours is used. So,
yeah.
So why don't you do this, man? Why don't you do this? You hang on. Suzanne's going to put you in touch with Deputy Doc.
I'll call him after the show.
Yeah, he's going to call him today. And we're going to light a fire. How about that? That guy needs some help. They're just not fucking... He's too... You want to know the truth? He's too nice.
Yep. Tomorrow morning at 6:30, KHOW, Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com.
Can you put up Paragon's number, please?
So, Kurt, do you have a chest rating, or you just play for fun? Have a what? Do you have a rating, or do you just play for fun? What app is that?
Play chess.com.
Chess.com?
Just metagame.
You play against the computer?
Yeah. Then you can get different levels.
Yeah, I have one also that I play with.
Yeah.
That looks like fun. A good one, because the one I have is much smaller.
Mostly sunny with a high near 60 on Sunday. It's 58 right now in Denver. With your Impact Traffic and weather, I'm Judy Rose, 630 KHOW.
Hiring is hard. Luckily, there's Indeed. The hiring platform makes it easy to attract, screen, and interview candidates.
This one is
from the
much
same
smaller.
place. Just sponsor a job. You'll immediately get a short list of quality candidates on it.
Thank you.
.com/credit to get started.
You know, whether you listen to me and call people because of me or call people in spite of me, I want you to call them because I would never represent people that aren't the best at what they do. Simply Floors, Inc. I can't say enough about Buddy and Karen Mitchell, the owners, 52nd and Ward Southwest Corner. But you can get them in your home, simplyfloorsinc.com. And they will dispatch design consultants to help you coordinate that entire floor. They're flooring experts on what to buy and why to buy it. Whether you want a full range of carpeting, from the top prices to the lowest as far as quality, or hardwoods, or you want luxury vinyl tile, they have it all. Simplyfloorsinc.com. Better pricing, too, and better installers. Simplyfloorsinc.com. And speaking of good people I want you to call, how about Matt at Paragon Services? Matt is a public adjuster. Man, is he busy because he's good. You know we believe in public adjusters on this show. Paragon Services, that's one of them. And Matt Stamford is the boss. He'll take care of you and make sure your insurance company pays what they should on a claim. He got Mark, I think, $80,000 when the insurance company said he didn't have any damage. Call Paragon 719-726-0020. 719-726-0020. Also on a referral list at referralist.com.
Great in-home care starts with a great match. Comfort Care can help you find the right fit for a parent or loved one.
From companionship to personal care, Comfort Care offers different levels of assistance. Our franchisees thoughtfully match clients and caregivers for the best fit possible.
You know,
a great match gives families
time is relative. Did you know that?
And a friendly
Well, of course it is. No, time is not relative. Your perception of time is relative.
Each office is independently owned and operated.
Time doesn't change. I mean, it changes when you get into Einsteinian physics, but for day-to-day reality, it's your perception of time, not time itself. Don't you agree, Tom? Yeah, it's perception, not the reality.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. Like, if someone said this most beautiful woman in the world, you have 3 minutes, or, here's, that would be the quickest 3 minutes in your world, or here's fire, hold your hand over it for 3 minutes.
Right.
I mean, obviously time is relative to what you're doing.
Exactly.
I mean, for me, 5 minutes is lunchtime. I can eat in 5 minutes.
Yeah, right.
But if somebody said you had 5 minutes to eat at a factory, you'd say, fuck you.
But as your acceleration increases, time gets diluted. You know that.
For real,
right?
For real, it does. Why? Yeah. I never understood why. I never understood the time speed continuum. I never did. But it happens. Theoretically, if someone was up in a spaceship going the speed of light, they would age less.
Right.
Why? I don't know. I just don't know.
It's been proven, but
I don't. It's been proven on a minor scale.
There are certain things you just don't understand.
Well, technically, then, if that's true, technically, any speed slows down movement.
Right.
I mean, technically. I mean, because there are finite degrees of light speed.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, and that goes to infinity, or to infinity. I mean. So, yeah, it's weird. It's a weird concept. And how the hell did Einstein come up with that? I don't know. Wasn't he the one that came up with that?
There's a space-time continuum.
For real.
For real.
But do you believe that time exists all at once?
Well, I don't know what you mean by that.
Well, there's theory that time, the past is still there, the future is still there. It's all still happening. Our consciousness goes through it.
I don't believe.
To some extent. But think about this one. As light is emitted from the Earth, and this is what they're going to do with this telescope. As light is emitted from the Earth, it goes out into space at the speed of light.
Right.
Okay, hold on. Therefore,
if you theoretically could travel this faster than the speed of light by many thousands of times, you could catch up with a light ray that was emitted from Earth 1,000 years ago. And then you could look back at it.
Right.
You could. I mean, theoretically. Here's the light rail. This is Christ. You can ride out here and look back and see it.
Yeah.
With the power.
Well, that's what you're doing with the stars. I mean, when you look at the sky,
you're looking at the past.
That happened millions of years ago, thousands of millions of years ago.
Yeah, and so
they've seen galaxies that are
with this spacecraft. With this space telescope, they're hoping to look back into Earth's past. Did you know that?
Well, I don't think they know. What they're trying to do is look into.
Oh, the origin of that's right. The origin.
They're looking to see how far they can. The Hubble telescope got to about 13 billion years. The Webb telescope, well, yeah, because they're finding galaxies that are 13 billion light years away,
or that don't even exist. We don't even know they exist now.
Right, they could be dead. Right.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK. We have plenty of time for calls, and Kurt Rogers is with us with the Liquid Loan from Affordable Interest Mortgage. You can go to liquidloan.com. Hey, Mark, what's going on with you? Mark, what's happening?
Oh, hey, Tom, how you doing?
Good, man. I'm doing fine. I hope you are.
Good. Thank you very much. Hey, listen, I have a mechanics lien that wasn't paid for. Actually, I'm trying to get to just the story here. My mother owned a townhouse over in Le Chateau behind 7-Eleven on Blackhawk and Iliff over there, and my stepdad was joint tenancy on. He was in joint tenancy on the note, and my mother died 11 years ago or 12 years ago. And what happened was that my stepdad, since he was in joint tenancy, he I don't know how he ended up with it because nobody came.
Now hold on, your mom died and your dad ended up with the house.
No, my stepfather.
Okay. How long, hold on, was your stepfather married to your mom when it happened?
No, they were divorced for like 10 years, 15 years.
And how long were they married?
They were only married for like 4 or 5 years.
And before that, who was she married to?
My father.
Whose name was the house in?
It was in my mother's name, Agnes Flynn.
Only your mom's name, not your stepdad.
Right. Well, he was quit claimed on it supposedly in 2005 because my mother needed him for the cosign.
For the what?
To cosign on the note, for a refinance or whatever.
Then Mark, there's your answer, man. That's how he got the house.
Okay, well, when my mother died, he didn't record or death certificate, and I'm an heir of the property.
Mark, you're not an heir of the property if it was quit claim to him.
The mechanics lien.
Well, what about the mechanics lien I have against it?
Mark, hold on. Let's take it. Mark, one step at a time. Let's just take the house. If your mom quit claimed her interest in that house to him, and he helped her sign on a note, he's every bit the owner. Now, if she dies, he should have that quit claim. I mean, the quit claim is already executed. There's no reason for him to file a death certificate or to do anything. It's his. He doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't even have to go to probate. It's his house. Now, let's take the separate issue. You said you're an heir. You're not an heir. You're an heir to nothing unless she left it to you. She didn't. She quit claimed it before she could leave it to you. So, now let's talk about your lien. What is that lien for?
The lien is for after my mother died. My stepfather had some renters in there, and they tore the place up. So after he got them people out of there, he asked me if I'd remodel it.
Oh, so this is he's the owner. After your mom, you fixed it up. You have every right to be paid. Now, you went and he didn't pay you. How much did he owe you?
$14,000. He paid me $5,000 out of the.
Does he claim? Here's what I'm asking you. Does he claim you're paid in full?
He claims I'm paid in full.
Okay. Did you sign a lien release?
No, I did not.
Did you have a lien on there when he paid you the $5,000?
I filed an intent to lien and a mechanics lien.
And then he paid you the. Hold on. Did you file that before he paid you the $5,000 or after he paid you the $5,000?
After.
Okay, he pays you the $5,000 and you say, wait a minute, you owe me another $10,000. He says no, you file an intent to lien and then you lien the house.
Right.
Good.
And then he sold the property.
Hold on. How long after you filed the lien did he sell the property?
Approximately, within the 6 months, because I was just getting ready to file.
The only way that would have happened, listen carefully, the only way that would have happened is if he bonded around it, or he had a cash buyer who doesn't give a flip and they didn't do title work. They don't have to, there's no law that says they have to do title insurance or title work. People think there is, but there isn't. So if he sold it for cash, that person's going to have a pleasant surprise when you come back wanting to get paid. Suze, what were you going to say?
Well, if it was an intent to lien, was there another step to actually put the lien on the home that
he said
maybe
he did. He said he
okay.
did. Did you say you actually filed the lien?
Yes, and I recorded them with the clerk and recorders. I got the document number.
Okay, so it's still on the house. Have you looked to see if it's still there?
It's still there, and actually it says that I'm the grantee of the mechanics lien and the intent to lien, and then I did file another letter to the, and we had it recorded for the probate.
Hold on, Mark. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You're owed $10,000, right? How much is the lien for?
$14,000.
Well, why? If he paid you $5,000, why did you add to it?
These were extras that.
All right, fine. You have a $14,000 lien that was never protested, and he sold the house. Do you realize?
Right.
Hold on. How much did he sell the house for?
$195,000.
Is there a loan on the house?
Not that I know of. This company called United LLC bought it out of Texas.
All right, here's the deal. All right, you need to get an attorney, and I recommend Brad O'Brien to execute that lien and to go after the money.
Okay.
I don't think you have the knowledge or skill to do it on your own, but you can actually initiate a foreclosure. But the problem is that lien. How long after you filed the lien did he sell it?
About 5.5 months.
Okay,
like I said,
you only had a certain number of months to perfect that lien. I think you may have lost your right. That's the problem.
No, I had 6 months, but I was getting ready to file an intent to lien, and then I found out they sold the property.
What do you mean? You already filed an intent to lien before you liened it.
No, I'm sorry. I mean an intent to foreclose because.
Okay. Getting ready to file an intent to foreclose and them selling it still does not stop your clock from ticking.
Okay. February 28th.
You may have lost your right to perfect the lien. You're going to use the excuse, well, I thought he sold it. There was nothing I could do about it. It's not going to work. I'm telling you. Now, we can call Brad O'Brien tomorrow, get him on, and get you some free legal advice. Let's do that. But I have a feeling, Kurt Rogers, you're in real estate, real estate lending. What would you say if he had a lien on there and the guy sold it to a cash buyer, doesn't care about the lien, doesn't his lien still expire?
No. Lien stays with the house.
No, the lien doesn't. He has to perfect it, or it's meaningless.
Well, like he said, he's already checked, and he said the lien is still.
No, it is, but he can't foreclose on it, is what I'm saying. You only get a certain amount of time.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to foreclose, but he still should be able to get paid if he gets the right attorney.
If they let him.
If they let him.
But if they say, screw you, Mark, you can't foreclose, they're kind of right.
He could. One way he might be able to do that, and I don't know the paperwork, is he could foreclose, but he'd have to buy the whole house. He has to pay off the first and give the guy the money back that he paid for the home.
I don't know. This is where we need Brad. I think this is my thought, and it's my opinion. I don't think you have a right to foreclose anymore because you waited too long. That's what I think. Okay? That's what I think. But we'll find out tomorrow.
Now, impact traffic.
This report. If you don't, the lien stays on there, but it's an empty lien, kind of like his piss. I mean, it's like it's empty. It's done, not effective.
Useless.
Yes.
How did you make that jump? How in God's sake? He went from here, wow,
to you.
Time. It was time. Yeah, that's right.
It was time. He was moving faster than light.
You know, it's like, do you understand quantum physics? Do you understand how a quantum bit can be both 0 and 1 at the same time?
It would have to be explained to me because I don't even understand that.
Okay, quantum computers.
Right, I know that.
Are they use what's called qubits. Instead of a bit, which could be 0 or 1, a qubit can be 0 or 1 simultaneously.
Well, how can that be?
That's only one or the other when you look at it.
The art of granite is the art of doing
countertops, and it's not just granite. You can get whatever you want, and the best thing is, you get the prices on the phone. Why can the art of granite do that? Because he knows it's wholesale for materials. Tear-on Holloway's free. The bathroom vanity's free when you do the kitchen, so he'll give you a price based on square footage because he only charges for fabrication and installation. 303-386-5919, get your price. The Art of Granite. Serving the entire Front Range and mountain communities, 303-386-5919. I also believe you need to get your scan done.
And you can get that done at corescans.com for just $189.
It's 15 minutes or less. You sit in like a dentist chair and get it done. It will tell you the presence of soft plaque. Soft plaque is a killer. It's an indicator of heart disease and stroke. Now, it's going to kill you with heart disease or stroke unless you die from something else first. So here's the deal. Why not eliminate heart disease? You know, someone dies every 36 seconds from cardiovascular disease, and right now it can be your choice not to. Because there are treatments, if you find this plaque, to get rid of it, to reverse it, and it's covered by insurance. So why not get that $189 scan and start your way to recovery? Core Scans, without the E, corescans.com, 720-740-2663, 720-740-2663. Hey, you know that we believe in insurance adjusters. You heard me do a commercial not long ago. Now I'm going to tell you about Public Insurance Adjusters of Colorado. That's Joel and his team. Public Insurance Adjusters of Colorado. They have a new website. It's easy to remember, coclaims.com, coclaims.com. Oh, man, I'll tell you what. These people are good. They're taking care of the fires, the Marshall fires, the contamination, the fringe damage, the direct damage from smoke and fire, and the total losses. They're helping people with everything in between, even flooding. Now listen, whatever your disaster, don't let your insurance company screw you over. Get someone on your side. They'll evaluate your claim free of charge no matter what it is. If you have an insurance claim, have it evaluated free of charge from people I know and trust. Public Insurance Adjusters of Colorado. That's coclaims.com. 720-715-0000. That's 720-715-0000.
With a new year comes
new ways to save big. Belco Credit Union is offering 1% APY on a 24-month CD on balances of $500 or more.
8 bits.
Right. 1%
Normal
APY
bits,
on a 24-month CD.
There's only
You typically need to be in a longer
64
term.
combinations of those 8 bits.
Branch, call 1-800-BELCO
You can have.
or visit
If you have 8 qubits,
to open
you
a
have
CD
2 to the 8 power combinations.
So, do quantum computers exist in real life?
Quantum computers exist in laboratories. They're big machines. They need to be at supercooled temperatures. You know, like maglev trains have to be supercooled to conduct, to have that zero resistance. So quantum computers, as of now, have to be, they're in labs because they're not made for practical use yet. They're only used for experiments. But they do have quantum computers.
I don't understand fully quantum entanglement. I mean, I understand the theory, but
Nobody does.
I don't know how the fuck it works.
Stephen Jay Gould, who's one of the founders of quantum theories, says if someone tells you they understand quantum physics, they're lying, because nobody understands it. They just use it. It's so hard.
And I don't understand how the results or outcome can be influenced by the observer, by whether it's observed or not. In other words, it's not real until it's observed.
Right.
But is that true?
Well,
I mean, if that cat, Schroeder's cat, was it? Is it dead or not?
Well, it's much easier to think of electrons.
Okay.
If you have an electron, either you measure its velocity or its position. Once you measure it, you have one or the other. You can't do both at the same time. By measuring its velocity, you can't determine its position. If you have its position, you can't determine its velocity.
Well, that's it. Okay, I can see
so
that.
that's the observability principle. So
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that if that cat is in the box, dead or alive, it depends on if I saw it.
Well, it's the same principle, except they're using it as a macro instead of a micro example. Because you can't, our minds can't imagine a cat being dead and alive at the same time. It was just like,
So the only way to deal with the ambiguity,
if you read some things,
is to observe it. But that doesn't mean it's not dead in there.
But if you believe in evolution,
doesn't mean anything. It means it's both.
But if you believe in
But it's not
evolution,
both. If it's truly dead, it's going to be dead whether I'm looking at it or
but
not.
if you believe in evolution,
If it's truly alive, it'll be alive.
Yeah, of course, within species and phylums, yes, absolutely.
No. But our evolution, we have evolved to live in this world,
of course,
with these parameters. Okay, so our minds have a hard time understanding things that don't fit into a worldview.
That's exactly right.
That's why time is difficult, quantum physics is difficult. All these things you can explain them mathematically, but understanding them exactly.
No, I understand.
So same with Schrodinger's cat.
Like infinity, no one really truly can.
Right, but you can use it in equations.
Well, yeah.
I mean, same with quantum physics. You can have all these crazy equations.
You know, it's funny because we say space is infinite, but we don't know that. I mean,
well, look what they're doing with dark matter and dark energy. They're assuming it exists, but they can't prove it yet. They assume that the only thing that makes our universe understandable in our terms if there's dark matter and dark energy.
What is that? Why? Why would that the only thing make it sense?
Because otherwise nothing fits. You can't understand the expansion of the universe without having dark matter and dark energy explain the acceleration of galaxies away from each other. It's a theoretical.
You mean on what's repelling it?
Well, what's causing the universe to expand,
right,
is not explainable if you don't have.
Well, if you believe in a Big Bang, what's keeping it expanding is if there's no friction to slow it down.
No, the Big Bang doesn't explain it without dark energy.
Hello, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Greg, hi. Well, let's get your mortgage question quickly here. What's going on?
Hi, I missed part of what you were saying earlier. If you were going to make an additional payment to reduce the term of the mortgage, a principal only, I assume you would do that at the beginning of the payment period. Let's say your mortgage started in January. You'd want to make that in January, not in December, correct?
Oh, what, the one extra payment a year, you mean?
Yes, sir.
I don't know. Kurt, does it matter?
No, it's just add 12 months from the time you make the payment. It cuts the term off.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's
just every 12 months you make an extra principal payment, not principal and interest.
Just principal.
But people, you have to remember, when you make an extra principal payment, whether it's every month or whether it's once a year, you must skip that next principal payment you made and go to the next line on your amortization schedule. There are computers that can tell you when to do it and how to do it, or programs. But anyway, it's not something to be trifled with. I'm Tom Martino. Don't forget, Affordable Interest Mortgage. We have more tomorrow.
Follow Tom Martino at Real Tom Martino.
And stay connected with all of us
at 630 KHOW.
KHOW.com.
And on the iHeartRadio app.
Leland Conway is next
on Denver's Talk Station.